Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm bringing you, along with my dear co-caster, special guest. You might know him as a man who can be bribed with $100 notes. You might know him as the CPL administrator. Snipe, say hello.
Hey everyone, excited to be here and cast some CPL action. It has been a while since I've casted CPL, so looking forward to it.
Awesome. How long's it been, Snipe?
Since I've casted or since I've casted CPL? Because
Casted
honestly, it's
CPL.
been a couple of seasons since I've cast
Ah,
CPL. But
well,
of
it's
course,
good.
I do casting otherwhere. So
Good to have you back here. And yeah, CPL is coming to a closure quite soon. This is the semi-finals tier zero between Flying SCVs and Cheese Police, so the players at the higher level of the spectrum for CPL. And an interesting lineup. We have one team, the Cheese Police, with an all Protoss lineup that's chosen to send out today. Uh,
yeah, it might be fitting for their name, Cheesy
yeah,
Protoss.
I wonder if we'll see any cheese coming from them. Also, a bit of a tactical decision, you need to win. Let's send out the Protoss.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Best race or something, right?
Absolutely. And I just want to give a shout out to how amazing the logos have been this season. And I think my favorite logo has to be the Flying SCVs logo. I've brought it up here. There's a lot of attention and detail that's gone into it. It looks really, really good. It has major Top Gun vibes, and kudos to whoever created it. They've done a great job.
It says Pete on the thing too,
Yeah,
and that's a specialist.
that's right. That's
Great today.
specialist.
Is that
Yeah,
actually was that put there for him? I wonder if
I'm
anyone's
wondering
from
that as
Flying
well.
SCVs could answer that. That'd be cool.
So I'll just get the first game going up. We're starting with Stunnel versus Specialist.
All right. Well, he will be in the first game. Of course, Specialist is the staff member on Flying SCVs.
Lobby's up.
All right. Okay, Eclipse. Yeah, that's right. The maps are what? Eclipse, Fighting Spear, and Ascension, if I remember.
That's right. Would you like to do intros or would you like me?
Well, however you want to do it. Or we each do one.
All right, let's do one each. In the
You
top
go
right,
first.
spawning as the red Protoss, we have Stunnel.
All right, and in the bottom left, I think that's pink, maybe it's tan. It could be the tan color, I don't know. Either way, it's Pusagi, aka Specialist, aka Pete, aka the staff member.
And I see a probe moving on the minimap already.
Oh, so Proxy?
It would have to be.
Proxy 2K?
And it's coming from the cheese police. They swear an oath to never cheese, yet here they are doing the thing that they're meant to be policing.
In the very first game. A little too late, I think, to go into the base. I wondered if this was going to be an in-base proxy, but it doesn't look like it. I think he's going to proxy it here, kind of near the ramp. I haven't seen a proxy here too often. You can fit two gates there, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, you can fit two with where he's built the pylon. Usually, this is a common area to proxy a single gate in PVT, where you can follow up with a fast gas steal. It'll be interesting to see if Stunnel chooses to go with one or two gates here, because you can definitely just do single gate proxies in PvP and just build back up at home while that proxy action's going on.
Yeah. Looks like that is actually what we're going to be seeing here. He's building one gateway and then moving away with that probe. I gotta say, I don't see the one gate proxy all that often, but I have come across it, especially on this map. You know, you see one gate, sometimes players will overreact, and then the one gate proxy player gets an advantage. But we'll see if Pete can handle it here.
It looks like Pete's going into 10-12, which should be able to defend a single gate quite nicely, I would think. And Pete's chosen to do that, before he's even scouted anything. Also, I like the movement of Stunnel's probe. Before he brought it to Pete's base, he kind of brought it back into the middle as if it was taking the normal path.
Yeah, and maybe bought it a little bit more time to not say, hey, the scout's way too early or a little bit too early there. Now, will Pete overreact. That's the question. Is he going to think this is 2-gate now? Even thinking this is 2-gate with 2 gates himself, he's probably not going to overreact and think, okay, I'm probably going to be fine with 2 gates myself, and maybe even think he's going to have a bit of an advantage here.
Ooh, well, we have a forge coming up in Stanley's base. I'm wondering, on Eclipse, you can actually proxy, you can build cannons behind the mineral line. So maybe he's building that to like do it in hybrid with a Zealot, but I'm not sure how successful it'll be with Pete opening with 10-12 here.
Yeah, he already has a Zealot out, doing some damage to that probe. There is Pylon going down behind, but he is going to cancel that, realizing he's probably not going to get this cheese off successfully.
Oh, yes, he's chosen to cancel the pylon. The probe goes down very quickly of his own, and as does the Zealot, so a bit of an unsuccessful aggression starting off here with by Stanel.
Yeah, now Pete still has the Zealot here to defend, but he's got 2 more going across the map. There is a pylon going up, but there's no cannon start. Okay, it's starting just now. Will that be able to defend these 2 Zealots heading towards his base?
Ooh, I think it would need a bit of a probe pull to just cover the front of the cannons, perhaps.
Meanwhile, Stanel doing a good job keeping the Zealot alive. Hasn't gotten any kills though yet, but hasn't lost it either. 2 Zealots chasing them around. Can he get any of these probes? Pete's done a good job of defending thus far.
But Pete is moving his 2 Zealots back. I don't think he even went into the main of Stanel there. Losing some time with them. I think he must have had them in a control group with the other Zealots and he accidentally sent them home. So they're a bit delayed. I think they might have been able to do something to that cannon that was warping in Stanel's main.
Oh no, yeah. Good point. I do actually have his hotkeys, and he only has those 2 Zealots. He's going to target down this cannon now. Will he get it? It's going to be close with the probes fighting. I think he's just going to get the cannon, but then he's going to lose the Zealot before he can kill any probes.
Just barely getting the cannon, but not an ideal trade.
Yeah, so let's look at the situation here. Who do you think is ahead? I gotta say, like, Pete's got a bit of an advantage here. He does have the extra probes, 2 extra probes, and he's also got his tech a lot quicker. Like, he's already got a robo on the way, whereas Stanel's going on 3-gate. Of course, that doesn't mean Stanel cannot win this game or come back. Like, 3-gate production, maybe he can overpower Pete here and get an advantage somehow.
Yeah, I'd definitely give Pete the advantage with the tech advantage. I've noticed his skipping goon range as well.
Interesting.
I think sending, he could have moved out perhaps before when he had the extra Zealots to possibly deal with Stanel's forward proxy gate. Has he scouted that yet? Is it still unknown?
I'm actually not sure if he scouted that or where it was. Maybe he just assumed it was the gate in the main, I don't know. That was looking a little bit scary. Like, Stanel is still producing a lot of Zealots here. Banking up to 6. It looks like he's finally stopped now back at home, taking up to Dragoons himself, but we do have the first observer on the way for Pete, as well as the Robo support base, so he's going to be able to get his Reavers out and expand or go maybe for a push and harass himself very soon. And I don't know if Stanel would have enough to defend a Dragoon Reaver push at this point.
I think what would be cool to see is speed shuttle with a Reaver with some harass on Stanel, I think. And Stanel himself opening a robotics. I kind of like his sim in his main. It's very nice and enclosed, very tidy.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get on top of that cannon, eh?
Yeah.
But yeah, looks like Pete's probably just going to go for an expand here, putting down that forward pylon. Reaver about halfway done here. Going to crawl out and take an expansion. Play the safe way, and I don't think he's in any real danger, especially once that Reaver comes out. Now, he hasn't been producing a lot of units, so maybe Stanel has a little bit of time where he can get in here and try and do some damage to Pete.
Yeah, the moment that Reaver pops out, I think Pete should be able to fortify this position. But as I say that, Stanel's force is moving down, and the Robo hasn't been built near the ramp of Pete. That Reaver could already be on the low ground defending if the robotics had been placed a bit differently.
Yeah, it does look like Stanel's found his window. He might be able to get a cancel on this Nexus, which would be huge for him. Is Pete going to cancel? That was close.
Did he get the
I don't
cancel?
know.
I don't think
I
he
don't.
did because his
I don't
money's
think he
still
did.
his money was 250.
Yeah.
So Stanel sniping the Nexus, and if that robotics are just a bit closer, I think he cleanly defends the natural, and his Nexus would still be coming up here.
Yeah. Now Pete's still starting his Nexus before Stanel's able to start his, but that definitely caught Stanel up a little bit. Now Pete still has this advantage, but hold on, there's an attack coming in here. I don't know about that for Stanel, taking a bit of a trade he didn't really want to, and that kind of helps get Pete that little advantage he had again.
Yeah, bleeding out a few zealots there, but the goons retain their shield, their health, only affecting the shields. And Stanel's opting to take his Nexus himself here. Was that a visual bug? It says his robotics for me is building. Yeah, it's just a replay bug. Stanel producing an observer just to be safe from any DT shenanigans. I can't imagine you generally go like Reaver DT, but it'll be good for the vision. And things are starting to stabilize for both players. Pretty even on the probe count. Stanel's Nexus just slightly behind here, and also slightly behind in supply. So I still give a bit of advantage here to Pete, and we'll see how I can play it out.
Yeah, well, we can't forget Pete does have the 2 Reavers, and he does have a shuttle here going across the map. Third gateway coming up for both players, but does Stanel have enough to take on this little force? I know it's not big, but 2 Reavers can do a lot. He's going to need to snipe if Pete decides to press forward. I would like to see him rally his Dragoons or start bringing his extra Dragoons if he's going to go for this push. But this could be very hard to hold for Stanel. He doesn't really have the army count or any Reavers of his own to counter the Reavers here of Specialists or Pete.
Yeah, I think some good shuttle Reaver micro here, it could even potentially close out the game. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, Reaver's getting unloaded, nice shots.
Ooh, great scopes to start off the fight, almost catching the transfer of probes there as well. And these Reavers are in a great position.
Yeah, Stanel being forced up the ramp here. He's going to try and use the high ground to get a little bit of an advantage and defend that way. But I don't think there's enough. Like, he's traded out none of Pete's units here, and he's just lost basically all his Dragoons. He's going to lose this Nexus for sure. I don't know if he's going to plan on staying in and try and fight back, but this is a very losing position for him right now. It looks like Pete is well primed to take this game.
Agreed. He positioned his goons and Reavers very nicely there. You notice as Stanel went up his ramp, he repositioned the Reavers to the bottom as well, so they wouldn't be in. And Pete is smelling blood here. He's going up the ramp with his goon squad. I'm not sure Stanel's going to be able to do much to hold this.
Yeah, I think it's going to work. He tries to pick off that shuttle, but even that is not going to be enough. He did have one Zealot killing some probes over on Pete's side of the map, or trying to, but not enough. GG is called, and Specialist takes game 1.
Out comes the GG from from Stanel. And interestingly, Pete never saw that proxy. I switched it to his vision. He never looked around for it, but it looks like he didn't need to.
We both know him pretty well. We're gonna have to ask him if he actually knew there was a proxy, or if he just assumed like it was an early gate in main or something. Because when he got his Zealots into the main, there was already a gateway there. So for all he knows, maybe he just got the gateway a little early or something.
Interestingly, yeah. All right, let's move into our second game here. Fighting Spirit. Over in the top left, we have the Black Protoss Specialist, aka Pete, aka Pasagi.
All right, and down a game, needs to win this one if he wants to stay fighting for his team and win that point back. It is our Red Protoss Stanel, or IRK Stanel.
What do you think of Pete's PvP? I normally know him to take a lot of risks with his PvP. In that game, he just played very safe and more of a standard game than how I'm used to seeing him play.
Yeah, I mean, he did open the 2 gate, right? But that could have been a map specific thing as well. I mean, knowing that map proxies are very common or something that could happen. I know other people that just straight up play 2 gate on that map just to negate the risk. But yeah, I have to agree with you now. We're coming from a position where we're probably a slightly higher skill level than Pete. Not by much. He's caught up a bunch, but maybe he just takes more risks against us than when he's playing against someone of equal skill level. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think 10-12 is fine on Eclipse. As you mentioned, it's good against Cheese, but I think sometimes people misunderstand the rush distance of Eclipse compared to a standard map compared to cross map. If you take like Polyploid or Fighting Spirit close spawn, the rush distance on Eclipse is about 3.5 seconds longer compared to, you say, close spawn on a map like FS Polyploid compared to cross spawn, and cross is like 10 seconds extra. So even with 10-12 aggression, it's still quite decent. I have seen players like Bonif go 10-12 in PvP on Eclipse. I still think it's a fine build for that map.
Okay, well, it looks like it's not just an Eclipse special. Busagi is going to go ahead and throw down a 10-12 here once again.
So,
meanwhile, we just got one gate tech on Stanhope's side.
So how do you find defending 10-12? Are you comfortable defending it?
There was a point in time I was very comfortable defending it. Maybe not so much anymore. I've been very, very, very inactive this season, unfortunately. Real life kind of threw me a tough curveball, but yeah. I don't know how I would defend it right now. Probably not very good, but normally I'm pretty comfortable. How about yourself?
Well, I had to practice against 10-12 specifically in save games for a while before I even started getting semi-comfortable with it. To me, it feels like a build that is easy to execute and difficult to defend comparatively. But if you are going to defend it, I think cross map does make it quite a bit easier due to the extra time the Zealots need to take there. You know, you've even got longer to kite with your Dragoon if you choose to do that. And your second Goon and or Zealot will be coming out. I remember when I was practicing it against Quark, he actually showed me something on cross spawn. If you're going, you know, core Zealot Goon, you can do that, and then after your first Goon pops, you make a Zealot, and that second Zealot will actually be out in time before the 3 Zealots hit your ramp. So you can block your ramp with 2 Zealots and a Goon just in time.
So wait, core Zealot, Goon, Zealot?
That's right. You can build a second Zealot and block the ramp.
I feel like that's gotta be very tight timing, because I know I've had times where it's like my Goon is out getting a couple pot shots, like we saw here, but then the Zealots are at my ramp well before my next Goon is out, or a little bit before anyways.
And it looks like Pete's Zealots have gotten in without much trouble. The ramp wasn't blocked, and they're already diving onto the probes. They've gotten 2 so far. That's the 3rd. This isn't good for Stanley's. He's also wasting a lot of mineral time from the drills. These Zealots have done more than what they've needed to do, and straight up, Peter's ahead.
Yeah, well, you can see that reflected in the worker count. Look at that, 21 to 14. It was 13 there for a second too. So Pete's way ahead now in probes, in workers, and he's already got his own Dragoons out. So I don't think there's going to be much counter pressure Stanel can really do. He's just going to have to take his losses and try and come back another way. I'd like to see him maybe go for... Okay, looks like he's going to go for DT. I was going to say some kind of harassment play to do some... catch Pete off guard with something. So he's going to go for DTs probably. Now, is Pete going to go for the Robo? Because that's something that could get him an instant win if Pete doesn't go for Observers right away.
Yeah, I like the decision from Stanel. He realized that I'm very, very direly behind on probes after that, and I need to take a risk to get back in the game. And we do see Pete is adding the robotics. How late is that Robo?
So it's decent timing. Now, if you get the Robo, if it starts around the same time as the Templar Archives, you can get your Observer out right around the time their DTs will get to your ramp. So this Robo was just before the Templar Archives started, meaning he should be able to get Observers out if he goes for Observers first right away here, and doesn't delay on starting them or starting his Observatory.
Right, and it's also cross-map and there's no gates that have been proxied, so yeah, as long as he's on time with his observatory, I don't think Pete will have too much difficulty cleaning this up.
Yeah, but we'll have to see. It will be a fairly tight timing. As you can see, the first Dark Templar's already started now. Will Pete start that observatory right away here?
He immediately
Looks like
starts it in the top left. Pretty much no gap from when the robotics finished. And
what do you think about this?
I think Stanley himself is concerned about dying to
Yeah.
DT.
No, I was just gonna ask, what's the cannons up here for? I mean, I guess it could help defend if there was like a 3-gate obs push or something too, or DTs, right? So, because
Yeah,
normally you would see the cannons on the low ground and then expansion behind this, but maybe because he took so much probe damage, he's feeling he can't afford all that right now.
perhaps. I don't like Stanley's position here. I like the decision to take, a bit of a gamble, but yeah, the cannons on the low ground would make a lot more sense. What's stopping Pete from coming in later after he defends the DT and just strolling into the low ground? How's Stanley going to be able to defend that Nexus?
Well, as you can see, the Observer is just getting to the natural now, just at the same time the DT is arriving here. Some nice timing by Pete. He is going to pick that off, blocking it in there with the Zealot, so nice little pickup for him there. Now Pete went 2-gate robo and his Nexus is ahead. Normally if you're doing like a DT expand build, your Nexus would be slightly ahead of a 2-gate robo. So Stanley's, you can just see how Stanley's behind, right? He's still down a few workers. He has caught up a bit, so maybe a bit sloppy pro production from Pete here. But overall, I still think he's in a much better position.
Yeah, I agree. I am a bit surprised by Stanley and the catch up with all that damage he took earlier on. Obviously Pete's just a little bit ahead, but we have this push strolling across the map, and I know Stanley has goon range. He did leave that to finish, but there's just more goons from Pete, unless the reinforcements. He's making 2 Templars. They're not going to have Storm, and if those cannons are on the low ground, maybe there'd be a hope, but here I think Pete will be able to overwhelm the natural of Stanley.
Yeah, that's a good point. With those 2 cannons, maybe they'd be just enough with that 3rd cannon warping in. He's going to have to try and take this fight, but realizing that he can't win, he's going to back up to the cannons, and this is going to at least force a cancel here on the Nexus, I would think, if he decides to target that. He may just try what we saw last time and go up the ramp too. Does get the cancel on the Nexus, does kill the cannon, so he can just contain him here and just be happily ahead. But look at this, we have a proxied Nexus, or a hidden Nexus here coming from Stanley. I mean, I don't mind it. He's got to try something. He knows he's behind. He knows he has to get back in the game somehow. This is one way you can do that with a hidden Nexus, especially in PvP.
I agree. Just take another risk. Maybe if it wasn't, a playoffs match, you might call GG, but I respect the decision Styles making here to take another risk with that hidden Nexus. Got a question though, how does Stanley break out?
Storm. Make him back up. A couple of Zealots to tank some hits and storm him out of there. There's not a ton of units down here, so if Stanley could make a couple of Zealots and push down, I think he could push down just fine. But now Pete's going to actually go in and he's going to pick off that TIE Templar, maybe. No, 1 health, look at that.
When some whiffs, the Observer does die, and yeah, that's a very lucky Templar.
Well, he could get a Dark Templar now and push out. Oh, a couple of Dragoons getting stuck down the ramp here. Gonna be some free pickup here for Pete. That's not what you want to see, especially when you're playing from this kind of position.
What I'd be thinking here is Pete is, my mind, maybe it's from all the ladder games I've had in PvP with hidden Nexuses, but whenever I get ahead, I send a probe out to every single base on the map.
Yeah. Very good habit to get into, especially on ladder, because I get that a lot. I think I get it more in PvT sometimes too. A hidden command center is just insane, but people do like to do that on ladder. So if you're not watching for it and they get away with it, you could be punished. Now, even with this Nexus, hidden Nexus, Pete's still been mining on 2 bases way longer. He's got way better saturation, so he's still in a fantastic position here. Like you can see, he's up 30 supply, 7 workers. He's got a bunch of tech coming in. Or no, sorry. No Citadel or anything started just yet, so he's going to stay on this Reaver tech for a while, but what you said, what can Stanley do from this point?
He can pray. He can pray for some money storms and for his expansion to be unscattered. He is starting a bit of a... Well, he can't transfer any probes there, right? Because it would give the jig up. So he needs to remake them all at the 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Storm's going down, so he will get down from his ramp now. He's going to probably take a Nexus here very shortly. Now, if Pete does think he's still on 2 base and doesn't scout this out and just says, okay, I know I'm well ahead, and lets him get away with 3 bases to his 2. That's one way that Sano could fight back in this game.
So leg speed kicking in with Stanel, and these goons might be pushed back, but we have reinforcements arriving. Another massive goons. I think there's just too many goons. There are so many. Some storms go down, clipping the edges of these goons at the top, but the flank at the south clears up all the Templars.
Yeah, Pete wins that massively. Now, he's got to be questioning, okay, there's no natural. Why is this guy still in the game at this point, right? At this point, even if he hadn't scouted it before, it should be a kind of a tip-off, like, hey, this guy's got nothing going on for him, right? Okay, he is going to start checking. Look, he's bringing a group of Dragoons to the third base. Not going to see anything there. And there, he scouts it. Okay, good. So Pete is thinking there. He is on top of it. He does scout the hidden base of Stanel. Now I imagine he could just kill it, but we do have a fight going on here now.
A quick goon engagement outside the natural of Pete, and Stanel's opting to build a robotics at his hidden expansion, which I like. But we don't have a support bay, do we? I can't see one.
No, at least not yet. But fight continues on. Pete's just got so much more here. Stanel's trying his best to fight in here. Pete's not gonna looks like he's not gonna push the issue at the hidden base there, and gonna instead maybe take an expansion of his own here at 9 o'clock.
Just a bit of a contain that's been going on throughout the game outside the natural. I'd like to see Pete take that third a bit earlier. He knows he can pretty much take it for free. We have a shuttle moving out. A shuttle with 2 Reavers from Pete going alongside the north side of the map. I think they're going to drop in. And if you look at the north side of Stanel's expansion, at the 3 o'clock, he doesn't have any cannons on the top. So I think these 2 Reavers are going to be able to wreak havoc.
It's gonna get scouted though by this pylon. Now Pete's gonna see this too. Yeah. Kill that. So he's gonna know, okay, he's trying to expand again, but that's gonna give him heads up. That said, he can't really get anything over here to defend.
That's right, he can't bring anything there.
Yeah. A couple zealots running up here for some reason. Slow zealots, so they're gonna die. But here come the Reavers.
Scarabs getting into the mineral line. Some very nice Scarabs. That probe count that suddenly have taken a long time to build up without being able to transfer just eliminated. And he's still holding the contain outside the natural of Stanel. These Reavers are... What can you do with Stanel here?
You can't do much. He's just praying, holding on as much as he can. Another couple of storms go down. Nice storm there, but I still don't think this is going to be enough, especially with these reinforcement Dragoons coming in here now from Pete. Yeah, this is pretty much GG. I can't see any way Stanel can get back in this game, really.
Neither. There's no mining going on at the 3 o'clock. Hey, look at the 4 pylons together. It's what you normally do with depots. And GG comes out from Stanel. I think Pete played pretty well. He had a game plan.
Yeah.
10-12 both games, and it worked out nicely. So very well played by Pete. Very solid play, I'd say.
Yeah, he executed it well. I do have to be a bit critical in that game that he didn't really tech up or anything. Like, he had those slow zealots, or he took a very late third. Like, he could have had at least one or the other, if not both. Like a third base, more tech. It's just like leaving an opportunity maybe for Stanel to fight back. Of course, as we could see in that game, there wasn't much he could do to fight back, but just something to consider, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think with so much going on, if you dedicate too much of your time, like, microing outside his natural and so on, you can kind of forget to go back home and start that tech. I noticed Pete had a lot of goons around his natural quite protectively, so I think he was concerned about some a Templar drop or something like that.
Yeah. All right, well, flying SCVs, I guess, strike first. And now we have Armada versus Flow. This should be a great match.
Should be good.
Know both these guys pretty well. Of course, Armada's in my clan, repping that NAS tag. And Flow, I've practiced and played with Flow a bunch. I know he's improved a lot. I've heard he's taken a couple games off some of the coaches, such as Raz.
Whoa.
So I'm almost a bit worried for Armada. I do have to give a shout out to my boy. He is in the chat. I do have to hope he wins this because he's in my clan and everything, but I'm a little worried for him here.
Over in the top right is the magenta Zerg. We have Flo.
All right, and in the bottom left, playing the yellow, we have our yellow Protoss. So Hawaheng. I don't know how he says it.
What does that
But
mean?
that is, of course, I don't even know. He's in the chat, maybe he can tell us.
Yeah.
He's played on this name for a little while now, but this is, of course, Armada. Playing the yellowish color, which he likes to play sometimes, repping that golden Armada.
He should join the study group, the community study group. We need more members.
Who would he be? I don't even know who's taken anymore. Who's left?
There is a third member. Hella Bacon created a community account. I can't remember who it's with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was a third person. Was it Troy Barnes? I feel like it's
Yeah, I think it might be Troy.
I remember seeing that somewhere at some point. Like, oh, who is that? I never knew who it was though, so I'm glad you told me. But it looks like Flo is going for that overpool.
Mata going for what I assume will be a forge opening as he scouted with his probe after the pylon. Gonna see what's up.
I'm a bit interested by this. I normally see Armada go gate these days. Maybe he's more like me in the sense that I do gate a lot in practice just to get some practice, but if it's a real game that counts, I tend to go forward just because it's, you know, what I'm more comfortable with.
Yeah, I was casting early in this season, and when I introduced Armada, I think I made the same note that he's a gate FE player, and then he played Forge FE both games, so...
Yeah, and I mean, we can see he's going Forge here. Maybe he realized he's more comfortable with Forge too. I've definitely seen him die to some people he shouldn't be dying to when going gate expand. But of course, he was learning it at the time, so can't talk too much shit about him. But,
it's the life of gate expand. You could die to
really
You could die to a tier 3 Zerg player. It could happen when you're practicing
as a tier 0
expand.
Protoss.
Yes.
This is true. But no, we got the Lings of Flow chasing away this probe. Now this is a very critical. Armada really wants to keep this alive as long as he possibly can, just to see what's going on. He does see the gas being taken here around 2:35. That's a little earlier than you might see, but it's still late enough that this is probably a 3-hatch build, which we can see the drone over here at 12 o'clock to be placed down a 3rd hatchery, and there it is.
That's right. I think he would be able to infer that it's 3 base by Flow, based on that gas timing. Otherwise, it would be pretty much immediately after the natural hatchery went down. And Armada did actually miss the block on the natural hatchery, which is never too great, especially when you've set your pylon probe. You'd expect to be able to block it around 2 minutes, I believe it's with overpull. That's the timing you need in your head.
Yeah, 2:03 roughly, yeah. About 2:03 is when it should be going down.
Sometimes I notice Zerg will like send their drone earlier to try to bait you into attacking and getting damage on the probe. But I'm just thinking, well, I know the timings, I'm not going to engage here.
Yeah, exactly. And I like to go into the main first anyway, just to get a check. Like sometimes they'll send out a fake drone and you're like, oh, if I'm going to hang her on the natural, and then it turns out it's a 9 pool or something, then all of a sudden you don't have time to get that second cannon up and you're going to have to pull probes to block.
Yeah, there's a lot of sneaky things. They can leave the drone on the ramp as well to do that.
All right, probe goes down, but Armada did confirm that this was a lair build. Did confirm the timing of the lair, so we should see him probably get into a Stargate type play here. Although, saying that, I haven't seen him take his second gas yet. We'll probably see him take that shortly.
I'll also note sometimes you can confirm a lair and then the Zerg will cancel it, build a den. So you can never kind of rule that out.
Yeah, I had that happen too in an NSL game recently. Thankfully, I sent out another probe and confirmed that they were Hydra, so I managed to survive that attack.
Good job.
It's definitely dicey, but in this case, we see it's not the case here. I thought Armada was sending those Zealots across to maybe try and confirm something, to see if he could see a little bit more, but he does turn them back around. And there is the second gas and Stargate being started. And
should expect to
no
see
plus
plus
one
one.
yet. Yeah, he has the gas for it, so I'm wondering what this is. If he's got something else in mind, or
It's just a bit late. You started it now. The only time I really regret starting it late is if they 3-hatch Hydra, and it would have finished if you started it on time. That's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, a well-timed 3-hatch Hydra should be able to deny it anyways, but it's not always well-timed, right? It might be a few seconds late, and sometimes those few seconds is all you need to get it finished.
Yeah. Sometimes there's ways you can just try to delay it a bit. Something I like doing is sending a Zealot out on the map, and when the 3-hatch Hydra starts hitting, I send the Zealot into like the third, where you just like, he shouldn't have any Hydras, or if there are, there'll be like one hatching from there, and you just get kind of free reign on the drones there.
Yeah, definitely a nice move as long as you know you have enough to defend back at home. So where are the players going to? Looks like second gateway here in the natural for Armada. Very nice heads up play. Of course, usually points towards him playing more of a lower Sair style. Gonna want that second gate in case mutas come to protect his High Templars just a little bit, or more of an Archon if need be, without the mutas being able to pick those off too quickly.
Looks like it's a solid, safe 5-hatch Spire Den from Flow. So gonna play out pretty standard and slowly here. A lot of Forge FE games tend to play out quite the same for the first 6 or 7 minutes before more variations start happening.
Yeah, it really comes down to a lot of the time to that first move out from Protoss and what they can get done, and how well Zerg might defend it or be able to counter. And you can start seeing other little tricks happen with this. But we got the Scourge coming in here from Flo, just checking out, seeing what's up, seeing what he's up against. One thing Zerg wants to check for, especially is that +1 on air weapon spinning, signaling that it's going to be a heavier commit to Corsairs. Seeing that it's not spinning, he shouldn't be safe, knowing that this is probably a lower Corsair style, usually capping out at no more than 3 Corsairs.
Would you be researching +1 air weapons here if you saw the Spire and Scourge?
Personally, me, no. You would have had to start it a lot sooner, like around the same time you're starting +1 weapons, ground weapons, right?
Sometimes it actually, when you start it so late, it bleeds into when you want to start goon range, and you're still waiting for this +1 air finishing. So we're gonna have some speed lock +1 timing. Let's check the Forge. The upgrade is just finishing, so well timed by Armada here. Gonna play some pressure onto the ramp of Flow. The Hydra's very well positioned. The Zealot's not able to get any surface area, and Armada, moving his Zealots back when he needed to. This is about, forcing Flow to make some Hydras, not just drone up. So even though he doesn't kill any drones or accomplish, that kind of damage, he is making Flow make Hydralisks still.
Yeah, that's a very good point you bring up too. A lot of people think, oh, I need to get some damage done with these Zealots, or I need to kill them, or do something with them. But really, just having them out on the map is what you need with them, right? The whole idea is just, like you said, to force Hydras, so you can't just drone for free non-stop.
Yeah,
and you don't get any. Getting damage done is like a bonus thing, right?
That's right. I've made the mistake of overcommitting with the Zealots way too much, and what happens is you lose the Zealots and you instantly die to a Hydralisk counterattack. Quite a lot of those Hydralisks flowing in for Flow right now to put some natural love Armada, and Armada's moving his Zealots to flank around, possibly to go into the third base, and Flow opting not to commit to the natural as Armada's cannons are finishing there. And we see some Templars up, and they do have the energy for Storm.
Yeah, it actually bought him a lot of time there, getting those extra cannons. Flo trying to chase these Zealots or trap them off. He may still get them yet, but it bought Armada all the time in the world to be able to defend any kind of counterattack here from Flo for now.
My god, that is a lot of Hydras.
He's still chasing down these Zealots.
How fast is a speed lock compared to a speed Hydra? Just a little bit faster, I think?
A little faster, yeah.
Ooh, we see speed overlords, and he's also researching drops here. So possibly a very large Hydra drop into Armada's main could be happening.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past Flo. He's done this kind of thing to me before. It can definitely catch Protoss off guard, but if he does it when Protoss' whole army is here, it may not be that effective. We'll have to see. Is Armada finally going to get home with these Zealots? I think he can finally make it home here, right?
These Zealots are
Or those
marathon map runners.
right?
They've just been doing laps.
They did not miss leg day, that's for sure. Oh, he's going to get them sandwiched in here now,
Oh
though.
my god!
I jinxed you. I'm sorry, Armada. I
jinxed
jinxed
it.
you. My Protoss brethren. Alright, so all the Zealots do finally get picked off there. Nice little win there for Flo, not really losing anything for a bunch of free Zealots. But now we got another move out here from Armada. He's got a couple goons. We did hear that load up. Did Armada hear it? That's the question.
I think even just seeing the speed OVs with that many OVs there, it should be triggering alarm bells for Armada.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to move out too far on the map if you know this is coming. We'll see. He's going to load up even more now. Will he go for that drop?
Armada doesn't have any vision
hoping.
of it.
Yeah, he's really hoping or waiting for Armada to move, maybe. Okay, no, here he goes. He's gonna go for this drop. Nope. Never mind. I stand corrected.
Ooh, he now has sight of all those overlords and he's gonna know what's up. Armada needs to move his forces directly into the natural right now before the overlords drop all the Zerg units, and he's not dropping them until it gets into the main. He loses a few overlords full of units, but the bulk of the Hydras do get out. Are we going to see some storms? Money storms on those Hydras. The storms.
No, the Hydras are moving. I wanted to see some massive storms. It looks like Armada was busy with a few Hydras on the front of his base. These Hydras are doing a lot of damage here. More units are streaming in. Storms finally going down. Even catching a couple of probes here. In fact, Armada lost a ton of probes during this. So, yeah, you got to favor Flo here maybe a little bit. He's still doing damage. More Hydras at the front. This is looking pretty bad for Armada. That storm does a lot of damage. Cleans up most of the Hydras in the main, but he's losing the front of his base at the natural here too.
Let's not forget, Flo was heavily supply blocked, and then a whole bunch of overleads just must have popped then. And Armada's, his probe count isn't where he wants it to be. That drop went better than expected given how it started. He lost like maybe 2 overlords which hadn't dropped any units. He chose to drop when he got all the way in the mineral line, but he'd already bled some to the Corsair.
Oh, what do you think about this continued pressure here from Flo? It feels like Armada's going to be able to hold this back and get a bunch of free Hydras, yeah.
Yeah, I think he just needs to juggle the Hydras back until these reinforcements get there. Really, with the damage Flo's gotten, maybe he could play a bit defensively.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I don't think he needed to really pressure here. He's like, he got the damage done. You can sit back and drone up or something, or just mass up another army, get into some lurker play or something.
Was Flo aware of the amount of damage he accomplished there? Maybe it's kind of hard to tell.
It's easier for us to tell, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't fault him too much there, but we'll see. I mean, Armada's probe count is still very low. Like, he's not going to be able to produce off of all the gates he has.
I like that Armada's gotten +1 armor here, which is pretty standard for the meta now in PvZ. Before going to +2 weapons.
It's very nice, gives you more survivability against these Hydras, lets the Zealots get on top of them a little bit easier, and tanks some more damage for your goons and storms.
And also, Flo doesn't have Carapace upgrades yet, so +2 wouldn't actually really do anything. The Zealots will still kill the Hydras in 5 hits instead of 6, and the Lings in 2 regardless.
Look at this, we got a fake drop coming in from Flo. Nice heads up play, trying to get Armada to pull back, but it doesn't look like Armada's going to bite. Okay, he's going to pull the probes, but he's not turning around with his army. He's just going to go in. He smells blood, like you were saying. He may actually be able to beat Flo here.
Oh my god. The fake drop, not very effective. Maybe he needed to move it in a little bit earlier to try to draw Armada back, and wow, I did not expect Armada to take that game.
I don't know about this GG. It's hard to tell from the game, but maybe Flo thinks he was further behind from that drop than he
Then he
actually
actually
was.
was.
Like, even looking at the counts, the worker counts are still even, which is fine for Zerg. If he could defend this attack, Armada's not really in a great place still. Like, he can't produce. He's not even mining in his main, so.
But can he defend it? Can he defend all these units?
How many storms? There's a few storms. I think it's close, man. It's close. I don't know. I think he should at least try and take that fight, and then maybe GG. But Flo does GG out, and Armada takes game number 1. So very nicely played.
I think Armada was going to take that.
Yeah.
You know, even just more sunks at the natural could have given him enough to hold. I don't think Flo understood the amount of probes he'd killed, which I can't blame him for. It'd be hard to call.
Yeah. Still, nice game, exciting game. Can Armada take down Flo in game 2, or is it gonna go 1-1?
Well, let's find out. The lobby's up. Over in the top left, we have our pink Zerg Flo.
Changing it up. All right, and in the bottom right, brown Protoss Armada. So yeah, a map they're probably both very comfortable with. I mean, I know it's not on ladder anymore, and we don't have any ladder maps, new ladder maps anytime. So supposedly it's coming in the next couple weeks here, right?
The new ladder map pool will be next week, according to an official Blizzard post. I think they're gonna duplicate, like, I'm assuming they're gonna just replicate the ASL map pool, the latest one. That would be really good, I think. Keep the game a bit more refreshed and interesting. There's only so many games on Plasma, Optimizer, and Shakuras and Benzene that I can take.
Well, I have half of those vetoed, so.
I actually have Plasma on thumbs up as a strategic veto to give myself more vetoes, because most people will veto Plasma, and if I hit Plasma, I just choose one of the 3 places to proxy gate and just gamble like that.
Yeah, I've actually considered doing that too, but I'm too chicken. I don't really want to play it. So nice little look at this Overlord scout from Flo. He's actually going cross map. You can do this to kind of see the probe angle, the probes coming in, but I guess he didn't notice it. Maybe because Armada was brown, or maybe he just wasn't looking at that point in time. But
How do you know he didn't?
Is just gonna sit there.
How do you know he didn't notice the probe?
Left.
Sorry.
Well, Overlord's going to the top left now. And the probe coming from bottom right.
So did his Overlord have vision of the probe as it went by?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Probe went pretty much right underneath it.
So maybe Flo did notice though. You said you don't think he did?
Well, considering he's sending the Overlord the direction the probe did not
he's
come
continuing
from.
it. Yeah, makes sense.
I don't think he's noticed. He is going to send a drone down in that direction though, so he will scout with the drone. Once again, we do have the Forge coming out from Armada, so no gate for him. Meanwhile, we did have the overpool from Flo. So everything looking pretty much like we started last game off here. Pretty stock standard.
Very similar. The only difference is he blocked the hatchery a few seconds this time, which is nice to see. And just 2 lings coming out for Flo, which is all you need against Forge FE. The cannon starting on time by Armada at 13.
Yep.
And Flo opting to take his 3rd hatchery at the 12 o'clock.
Once again, gas a little bit earlier than I see some Zergs, but that is a perfectly reasonable time for a 3 hatch build. And as we can see, there goes the hatch. So imagine we're probably going to see a lot of the same openings. You know, Armada getting into the +1 and legs. Flo may be going into the layer tech once again. And Spire. Now, if he kills the probe really quickly here, he does have that option, of course, of going into a Hydra Den, since Armada would be blind on that.
That's right. You can even build or start the den at the natural, potentially to hide it if the probe's just in there for too long. Yeah, Armada's good at multitasking the probe.
Well, Flo is going to go for that 3 hatch Hydra right in front of Armada's face here.
Wow.
You don't see that too often, but I mean, you can still play this because Armada's still not going to know how committed Flo is going to be to this play. Like, is Flo going to go all in Hydras, or is Flo only going to make enough Hydras to break down the wall? We'll have
Yeah.
to see how Armada responds to this.
Armada's multitasking slipping a bit. He did the transfer to his natural like 10 to 15 seconds a bit too late, which can be the cost of paying too much attention to that probe. But when I see a Zerg do this, in my head I think, okay, I've got to respect the threat of 3 out Hydra, but often they'll just drone behind it. At least that's what I've had Zergs do. And yeah, that's what he's building right now. It's just pure drone.
Looks like Armada's going to send that first Zealot out as well. It's going to get him a little scouting information. See, okay, he's going to do what you did. It looks like he's going to hide that and wait for the Hydras to come and then sneak it around. So nice little heads up play there. But are there going to be any Hydras coming? So far we have not seen a single Hydra being made here from Flo. He is getting those upgrades, so he will start to make some of those. But I think this is probably just going to be a poke at the wall, kind of try and take down the wall rather than a full commit.
Yeah, and Armada also getting a scout on at the 12 o'clock with the probe, so he's getting a lot of information. I like what he's doing here. And Flo's Ling has seen his Zealot now, so Armada choosing to move the Zealot back. He is not using his lava, he's just saving it. He has 6 lava unused at the moment.
That's not what you want to see. Of course, when you have all those larvae, you're not going to be producing more. Okay. There we go. So Hydropolis production has started. Lings kind of chase down that Zealot, but do not find it, and they turn around and go home.
Very interesting. Check out Armada's natural. He's choosing to go the Reaver response to these Hydras.
Yeah, I like it.
Something I noticed about his build is you can actually, like, when he scouted the den, he could have opted to get the cannons a bit later. You don't immediately need to get them. You can speed up your build.
Yeah. Yeah, if you stop scouting, you can get wait until you see the first Hydra pop to start your additional cannons. At least that's what I've heard.
So
right, well, so go ahead.
The Reaver's only 1/4 finished done, so this will get poked a bit. Interested to see what will actually get taken down. Will he be able to get at least the gate? But of course he'll need to back off. As soon as that Reaver pops out, we saw earlier in a caster match against Armadaverse, Return overextended with his Hydras a bit even when the Reaver was there, and for his troubles he lost like 12 Hydralisks or something.
What do you think of this shield battery? Because he wants to give his Zealots a little bit more survivability, or that Reaver once it pops up.
I love shield batteries. Anytime a shield battery is built, I'm happy.
Flo still does not have vision of that Reaver. So Armada's just going to build up the Scarabs. I don't think he can actually get it in range of the Hydralisks right now, anyways. Just because of where his cannon is. Yeah, he's going to kill his own cannon. Okay, I'm like facing 3H Hydra. Time to kill my own cannons. So. But now the Reaver will crawl out there, kill a couple Hydras. Flo's going to notice and he's just going to pull away. I don't think he's going to mind too much because he didn't make a lot of Hydras anyways. So like we said, he just kind of killed the gate. Now he's going to go home, macro up. You do see that lair tech is almost done for him, and I imagine we'll just probably see him go into a similar kind of game plan with a lot of Hydras. In fact, we are seeing Burrow. Okay, this is what I was wondering. Was he going to get Burrow? Burrow's definitely an effective tool against Reavers. Before observers and stuff are out, you can burrow those drones, or burrow groups of Hydras and try and pick off the shuttle when it's flying around.
Yeah, great decision to get Burrow. Let's see how he's able to utilize it. I don't think Armada will go into Ser Reaver here. I think he'll just kind of use the Reavers to complement his regular army. Like maybe he'll build a few Corsair, but not a heavy committal to Corsairs.
Well, we'll see. He is getting +1 for his Corsairs, so that usually signals he wants to make more than a couple. Yeah, exactly.
When he did
I think he is, yeah.
When he did this last time, he didn't go into like a Ser Reaver. He just used the Reavers more complementary. So a bit of a difference from his earlier play.
Oh, Armada definitely likes to mix it up. He can play a bunch of different strategies all the time. So we are going to see now how long he stays on Ser Reaver is another question, but we are going to see a bit of Ser Reaver here. First Corsair is going to fly in the path, make sure there's nothing in the way, or see if he can get his shuttle over there.
So going a bit too headfirst into those 5 Hydralisks. Almost dying, but getting a bit of a scout for its troubles. So he'll see Double Gas, he'll see Spider, Evo Den.
Yeah, now we can see there's Mutalisks coming. I wonder if Armada should have gone like a double Stargate here. He's not going to have a lot of Stargates to really deal with these Mutas. And he doesn't really have any cannons in his mineral lines. He's got one in his main. So there's a chance these Mutas could just pick off this Sarah Reaver here, or these 2 Reavers pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think you can't. It's difficult to tell as Armada if the Zerg will commit hard into mutas or if it'll just continue pumping Hydras. Like, really, you need to see what's hatching from the eggs to be able to tell that. We have his shuttle that was at 3 o'clock retreating from those mutas, and Armada's going to know what's up right now. It's a group of 7 Mutalisks against a measly 2 Corsairs, and there's no cannon finished in the middle line of Armada. He's taking some damage here.
Yeah, how many probes is Flo gonna get? He's already pretty much evened out the worker count. Corsairs are doing their best to kind of help out, but 2 Corsairs can't really fight these 8 Mutalisks that effectively. Really need a few more, and +1 isn't quite done. It's just about to finish up. Alright, he is going to start a couple more cannons now. Muta's back off for the time being, but there's a couple Scourge flying in, so he's going to have to be really careful. You don't want to lose those Corsairs or the shuttle even to those Scourge.
3 Corsairs with +1. The Scourge come in and defended by those 3 cannons, the south side of his Nexus. Oh, one of the Scourge connects and he's down to 2 Corsairs. He's lost a lot of probes. In fact, Flo is significantly up in probes after that.
Yeah, no mining going on here in Armada's natural. He's still having trouble dealing with all these mutas, but at the same time, he does have a shuttle going towards 12 o'clock. Let's see if he can get anything done. There's one sunken here. Will Flo notice? Will Armada get a bunch of drones here and try and even this out? The Reaver has no scarabs. Has no scarabs. Oh, I know that feel. That really bought Flo the time he needed. Only 2 drones going down before he's able to retreat with the rest of them. Now the Hydras are going to come in to try and clean us up. A couple of mutas as well. Looks like he's going to lose that shuttle and Reaver. This is not looking good for Armada.
It's like you get the shuttle, you see the Reaver, and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I built scarabs on this one earlier, and you pick it up and you get a rude surprise when you drop it.
Yeah. It doesn't happen all that often, but when it does, it's just like, ah, facepalm. Even Armada in the chat doing the same thing.
Not like this.
Not like this, yep.
So but archives coming up from Armada. He's going to try to build out a more standard composition here, I believe. Let's see if he's getting goon range. That's not starting yet.
Muta's trying to do some more damage here. There's plenty of Corsairs to deal with this now. There's one drone hiding under those Overlords. I wonder if he wants to make an offensive hatchery. Okay, it looks like Flo decides now's the time to push in. I don't know if this is necessarily the right choice with 2 Reavers here, Cannons and Speed Zealots. Armada even utilizing that battery on some of those Zealots. Nice Scarab hits going down, yeah.
Great defense by Armada here. I think Flo just needs to take a step back and chill. He's got a good drone count. He's kind of free to take them out.
Yeah, I would like to see maybe a couple more drones at his natural, or at least one more. There's a patch there that's not mining. Okay, there. As I say that, 3 more drones pop. But yeah, I agree. Feels like almost a similar mistake to what he made last game. Is he got a little bit too overexcited with his move-in. This time he does pull back and save a lot of his Hydras. I would still say he's got the lead or the advantage here, but a couple moves like that and all of a sudden Armada finds himself in a good position again.
That's right. I think the important thing for Flo is to deny the 3rd base at whatever means possible. Since he does have the lead, we have a lot of drones accidentally misrallied towards the natural. Like, it didn't need a Reaver Scarab.
Yeah, I saw the drone Congo line. He's just going to send those back. Now Armada feels it's his time to push out on the map. There's no shuttle carrying these Reavers, so they're just going to slow crawl their way across the map here.
There is a shuttle outside the...
Yeah, it's funny. If the Reaver were in that shuttle, the Scourge would have picked it off, I think. But...
It was a good thing, man. Sometimes you
It
can
was
lose
by design.
tracks of you can lose track of where your shuttle actually is sometimes if it's not
Oh
like
yeah.
in that. I hate when that happens.
Reavers are gonna crawl into these hydras and mutas.
Oh
See if
no.
he gets anything done. Not a single scarab.
Suicidal Raiders, not like this.
Those poor Reavers. Now Armada is gonna scout this fourth base and probably be able to deny it. I don't think Flo's gonna be able to get enough units over here. Time to save. Yeah, he's just gonna instantly cancel that. Maybe those mutas could have flown over, but with the Corsairs sniffing around somewhere, probably wouldn't have been able to save it. So
The main of Armada is not too far from mining out, and he's just going to be mining off his natural. And the reason why that natural is still mining because of all the probe damage he took earlier, but Flow committing into the natural. Muta's going in to pick off the High Templar. Hydra's nicely being juggled back and forth, and not much Scarabs have gone off. He just sniped like 2 or 3 High Templar and didn't lose too much.
yeah, there was 3 Reavers sitting there, but again, they didn't have the Scarabs. Armada, you gotta be on top of building those Scarabs, buddy. Either that or forget next time we play PvP. I don't know. But yeah, I mean the supplies have gone back a little bit here in Armada's favor. Now, looking at these supplies, you do still say like Zerg's in a fine spot. He's got more drones as well, but the supplies are a lot closer, a lot more even than they once were. Like Flo had the advantage at one point here. So.
Armada expanding his gateway account up a little bit, but I'd like to see him try to secure this third. I don't feel like he can. Wait, I guess he has 2 options, right? Secure the third, or just do like do an all-in attack without bothering to take your third, and just hoping you get a good engage, right? You've got 3 Reavers. What do you think he'll do?
Well, his build looks like he wants to just go for the all-in here, right? Adding on a few more gates. He hasn't really made any attempt to take it. Flo has retaken that supply lead now. So it might just be an all-in in order for Armada here. Now, I would like to see a couple of observers coming out from him before he pushes out, though.
Yeah, Reavers, the possibility of lurkers should be on his mind, and we see him adding the obs now.
All right, Goons, of course, doing Goon things, dancing around in Armada's natural. Now, it looks like Flo's taking 2 bases at once here now. He's like, okay, well, if Armada might kill one of them, I can secure the other. There is a DT here kind of hanging out at the top left. I wonder if he's going to wait for drones to be transferred there. Does he even know the hatchery started, or is he going to send it over there and start trying to pick off that hatchery? Of course, we don't think that's going to die with the Speed Overlord over there and a group of Hydras on top of the ramp.
A gaggle of mutas floating around Armada's natural, looking for any Templars it can pick up. Well, it actually took 2 volleys to pick that Templar off.
Well, they do have the +2 armor.
You love to see it.
Yep. And of course, mutas have no upgrades. Yeah, I feel like that DT is just waiting for the drones at this point. This is looking okay. Sorry, go ahead.
He's picked up two Reavers, and he's crawling. Okay, he's not actually going for like the 100% committed attack. He's slow crawling the 3rd Reaver towards his 3rd to defend it, while Flo is slowly taking the map. However, he is gathering his forces towards the middle right, towards the natural. This is a big lurker field to break.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to try and break this. The DT in the top left got spotted and killed as well. But here comes Armada. He's going to try and push in here. He probably realized, oh, he's losing a bunch of units here.
Where are the Reavers?
Early to the markets. Yeah,
the shuttle
did the shuttle get
behind.
picked up?
No, it's neglected behind in the middle of the map.
That's a bit unfortunate. Really want those Reavers helping with this fight. He's probably thinking the same thing. Where are my Reavers? I can't find my Reavers. Flo is just going to come in from every angle, surround and engulf this army. This is not looking great for Armada. 5 base Zerg, just macro with a bunch of Hydras and Lurkers picking off all of
The
Armada's
shuttle.
army. He gets the
The
shuttle. Oh
shuttle.
no!
Oh my god.
Loses the shuttle and the 2 Reavers. That's painful. Flow now being up like 40 supply here.
Well,
I
the third, it's just got the one Reaver to defend. Yes, he does have a bunch of units, but yeah, if you lose your entirety of your army as toss, I feel like it's really hard to rebuild that core army up to a decent size again.
Very true. And now we're getting a bit of a Gatane here coming from Flo. And this is really all he needs to do, right? He doesn't... Like, he could probably kill this third base if he really wanted to, but he doesn't have to. He can just simply just set up a Gatane, keep Armada from ever taking any more than these 3 bases, and win the game from there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what happened with that shuttle. I know that sometimes for me, if I have my shuttle on a single hotkey, and you 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A your army, the shuttle's not going to move because you've attack commanded, which it doesn't have unless it's in a control group with an attacking unit. I know that sometimes my shuttles, I'll miss out on bringing them if I forget that, because it's like I need to think 1A, 2A, 3A, 4 move command.
Yep. Do that, or sometimes you just get one random observer or something left in your control group too, and you try that. Doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Flo looks like his game plan is just contain these couple of locations here below the ramp and not let Armada out until he runs out of money. Now Armada is going to come down, realizing he has to get out onto the map at some point if he wants to make any chance or have any chance in this game. Some nice storms, a couple of scarab shots going down here, but there's just so much stuff here for Flo, even if he loses all of this army.
It's just too much for Armada to break out with his third, and soon his third will be the only base he will be mining from. His natural is very close to mining out. Actually able to get a couple Hydras in. I think Flo could just grab his like a control group or 2 of Hydras and go for the coup de grace at the 6 o'clock if he so desired, but
well, it looks like he might be doing this now. He's going to bring some Lurkers up and some Hydras. I don't think Armada has enough to defend. This looks like the killing blow right here. Oh, all those probes going down as well. Couple of storms, but is it enough? Like, Flo's double the supply here. He's sitting on 5 base. Armada's barely holding on to his 3rd base, which is really his only mining base. If you look, his natural's just about to mine out here.
yeah, I think a lot of this, like with some better Reaver and shuttle control, could have segued into an entirely different game. I think Flo, like, he set up a nice advantage with getting all those probe kills at Armada's natural, and he carried it on nicely from there. Good game is called.
All right, so we will have a game 3 between these two. It's exciting to see.
Yeah.
We'll get to see Ascension. Now, I believe it's an ASL, but I haven't watched much ASL yet. I'm not super familiar with this map, so it'll be good for me to see.
Cool. It is an ASL. It's been an ASL for a couple of seasons, I believe. It's meant to be a remake, like a 3-player Blue Storm. That's
what I've heard it called.
Map maker's kind of vision for it.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. I haven't played. Okay, I've seen the ASL games from last season, I should say, but I haven't actually played much on this map, so I don't have a ton of experience with it. But always good to see.
Over in the top middle as the yellow, we have Armada.
All right, and in the bottom right, the gray Zerg, it is Flo.
Are we going to see readers? Snipe, are we going to see more readers?
Yes. No. Yeah. If the game goes long enough, definitely.
Something I noticed, we didn't see Burrow being used either, but I guess there wasn't much cases where it actually needed to be.
That's a good point. He did get it, but I don't think he ever used it. Well, he did pick off that stuff early on which kind of gave him the advantage. So he didn't really have a chance to utilize Burrow, right? Like Armada didn't really get many opportunities to fly around the map with his shuttles and reavers and pick off drones.
That's right, because he went into Meter Scourge after. So I know that I've walked straight into like a Hydra trap before where they have it burrowed. You bring your shuttle in with the Reaver, and they unburrow and pick it off, and you feel like you got played.
Yeah, it's a feels bad man moment for sure. But yeah, let's see. Looks like Armada may be having a little trouble with the scout path there.
Something I'll note about Ascension is the rush distance is longer than standard as well for the 3 bases. So often you see more eco-focused builds. But looks like Armada will play it safe and get the Forge. He's not going to first scout flow. You know, perhaps if you're scouting here and you see the Zerg is wanting to go 12 hatch, you can just take your Nexus.
I mean, I do that anyways on any map. If I scout them, they're going 12 hatch, I'll be like, if I haven't started my fort, in comes the Nexus, right?
Right, and you can get the hatch block on top of that to force them into like a 12 full or something, and it puts you in a nice little lead for the start of the game. Yeah,
for sure. You got to be careful with that 12 pool to make sure you get some defenses up in time. If you do go that Nexus first, sometimes you can be at a little bit of risk against the 12 pool there. If you're not on top of getting your defenses up, you can't get away with as much as if he went 12 hatch. Anyways.
That's right. But if you say hatch first, you can just after your Nexus you go gateway, and you can just skip the cannon until you actually need it.
Do the mini and get the core, and don't even worry about cannons. It's all good, right?
It's all good. Did you see that ASL game between Mini and Queen on Ascension?
Yeah, probably.
Mini went like he went 12 next. Sorry, it wasn't on Ascension, it was on that really big 4-player map. He went 12 next into like Gateway and Core before any cannons at all. It's like the greediest you can possibly be. Gives you a super fast
that was
target.
the semifinals of last season or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. And then he went into Reavers. Yeah. It was a hype game.
That blue map, the high ground or something?
Yeah, the name. It's like a
Hidden Track
kind of map. No, not Hidden Track.
I don't remember the name.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. I do know the game you were talking about, though. I remember that. Meanwhile, what do we have going on in this game? We do have the lair started.
We have the same thing as the last 2 games.
Oh no, we had the 3-hatch Hydra last game.
Oh, that's right. We did.
The reverse. Float ended up, of course, winning that one. Maybe going back to something a bit more standard here. Of course, Armada's going to have full vision of this lair, so he knows the exact timing of that. I imagine we'll see him throw down a Stargate here right quick as soon as his Cyber Core finishes up. And he has the gas to do so. Looks like his gas might have been a little bit late there.
Slightly late, yeah.
As you ideally want to have about 150 gas as soon as that core is done to throw down that Stargate. So, but it's not going to be the end of the world. He's still going to have that Stargate up in plenty of time to get some scouting done and confirm if there's going to be a second gas in time for...
I think it can change things. Let's say your Corsair is 10 seconds late and is like heavy committing to Muta Scourge or something. That could be the difference between when your Corsair gets in, you've already got 2 Scourge waiting for you, compared to being able to get more of a scout. I think delaying your Stargate can have negative adverse effects.
Now it does depend what time the Zerg took his gas as well, and how late it is. So I think Flo we've been seeing, I didn't see what time he took his gas this game. He's been taking a little bit earlier gases than most 3-hatch players I see.
Yeah.
So in that case, actually, it could be the mistake where his Corsair flies in and there's already Scourge waiting for him in this case.
I think,
but against a normal timing, yeah.
I think Flo will be going for 5-hatch by Den again because he's not taking his second gas yet. So I don't think he'll hard commit to Muta Scourge.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to point out is the other thing too is if your Corsair is too late, that second gas can already be taken by the time it gets there. and complete it, and then you're kind of in the dark as to if they're banking up gas for mutas or not, like when they took it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. If your Corsair's on time and you see he's already mining the second gas, you might be a bit more suspect about his about how hard he'll commit to air. So I think Armada must realize that his Stargate was late and he's just moving his Corsair directly into his natural, which is a safe decision. It's just that he is playing completely in the dark. Besides knowing that Flo has lair.
Yeah, the Scourge just now hatching. I think the Corsair could have gotten into the natural and made it out in time, but again, he doesn't know exactly what time that Spire started and he wants to play it safe. He's going to bank up, it looks like, more Corsairs this game, and he does have +1, so instead of scouting with it, he's just saying, I'm going to go for the +1 Sair play this game. And of course, Flo's going to fly in with those Scourge. I assume they saw it. Yes, they did. Okay. So Flo does confirm that +1 air weapons are being researched.
Yeah, I like Armada's decision. He's just playing very safe. He has the cannon ready by the Stargate. He's getting both +1 air weapons and +1 ground weapons. Something you can do often is you can start the +1 air weapons, and if you do Corsair Scout and you don't see a spy, you just cancel it. So it's not needed, it's more reactionary.
Yeah. But seeing the Scourge kind of confirms that there was a Spire, so Armada not going to cancel that, going to continue to build up that Corsair count. He's going to go for a fairly strong timing here with 5 Corsairs, +1 air, and +1 ground and legs. Just about to finish up here. And this is a pretty strong timing attack, definitely. Can get a lot of damage done if Zergs are not prepared.
Yeah, I'll say that this is similar to game 1 then on the Eclipse. From both players.
Yeah, biggest difference is Armada did not go for the +1 Sairs in game 1. So he didn't really have them with his attack. Although, saying that, he isn't even moving out with this tactic. Okay, here we go now. Maybe a bit late on that move out. We'll see if he can get anything done here.
Yeah, you can kind of have it positioned that the Zerg still hold that thought though. The muta's going in, having a bit of a brush against the Corsairs. And we do have quite the number of Scourge. Going to be able to get them to connect onto these +1 Sairs. Armada immediately moving all the Sairs home, does not want to risk losing those. What I'd expect him to do here is just build up the number to more than 5 with +1. It's with that many Scourge, we know that you can have 5 Corsairs with +1 to 2-hit Scourge. But if there's a large number and they're split into like different groups, then generally you'd want a higher Sair number.
What do you think about that pullback? Like, he didn't really have any ground troops and he only had 5 mutas. So even if he runs away with the Corsairs, I still feel like he could have got some damage done with those Zealots.
Well, he had the Sunk, and I think he had some Hydra. Something worth pointing out here as well is that he has +1 Carapace. So as Armada, you want to ramp up that Corsair number, go to like even up to like 11 Corsairs if needed. It'll be interesting to see what kind of engage can happen.
Yeah, the real question is, did Armada notice that? I know that's not something I always look for every game, something I should definitely look for more often, but we do have one Archon having been made here from Armada, so definitely feeling the threat of the mutas, wanting to make sure he has ample defense or ample anti-air here. And it looks like he's going to position out to take a 3rd base here pretty soon.
Armada choosing to go up to 8 Corsairs, stopping production there. Oh, the Muta Scourge go in directly on top of the Corsair. Most of them get taken out. How much? No, about half of them. Half the Corsairs go down, and there's no mutas and there's no Scourge left, aside from a few red health mutas. And a large Zealot type moving into the 3rd base of Flo.
Yeah, we do have some lurkers getting close to hatching here. Only about halfway done, so this Archon can probably pick off at least a couple of them here. But what does Flo really have? This is a lot of damage going down here now on Flo.
This is too much damage, I think. That Evo Den is going to go down. But Lurkers in the nick of time, burrowing, able to repel the Zealots. A lot of damage done. I'd like to see the Archon go onto the drones here. He's targeting the drones. Archon on 3 kills.
Okay, he's gonna target a few more. Yeah, so Flo, like I said, Flo pushes that back for now, but there's Corsairs still killing Overlords here too, just outside the natural. Gonna get a few more Overlord kills, so very nice damage done. It's gonna supply block Flo as well. That was definitely worth it for Armada. Getting a 3rd base up himself. Nice position.
Very well played by Armada. I gotta say, I thought the Scourge were having great connects on the Corsair there. It looked like it was gonna go Flo's way. All of his air units were bunched together though. I don't think they'll split into different groups. And it just, it all happened at once very quickly.
Is Armada, looks like he's probably going to scout this base on the left. There's not really anything here to defend. If Armada was to send a few Zealots over there to try and pick that off, he'd probably get that no problem.
Yeah, nice scout by Armada, being proactive with the Sares. Also, like during the attack at Flo's 3rd, I like that it was still active with the Sares on the Overlords outside the natural. Some good control by him, good multitasking.
Yeah, and here goes a group of Zealots, like we said. Gonna go pick off that hatchery, and there's nothing Flo's really gonna be able to do to save that. So unfortunately, going to lose that and put himself back down onto 3 bases, although he is taking another base, which Armada's gonna scout immediately here with these Corsairs.
Flo starting to set up defenses at the plateau outside the 3rd. When you get enough lurkers, it can be incredibly difficult to bust that. The Sares, these are very ambitious Corsairs. I think he lost 1 or 2 there to Scourge, but is getting the full scout. We'll see the Queen's Nest, indicating Hive Tech shortly coming, but I like Armada's position. He's fortified that 3rd. He's starting to up his gate count. Going into that core Zealot, Goon, Templar, Observer army, and the bottom left base has been taken out by Flo, by Armada with those Zealots. So it's 3 base versus 3 base at the moment.
Yeah, I mean it's still somewhat playable here for Zerg, but it's getting dire situations. Flo's gonna need something to go right in his favor here soon if he wants to keep staying in this game. This is quite a big army. Is Flo going to have enough to stop this? It's going to be a hard-pressed defense. He does have a good number of lurkers here, but he doesn't really have any supporting units to go with it, so I'm a little bit worried if Armada chooses to pull the trigger here quickly.
And I think he is starting to move that death ball across to the right side. Do you think he'd have more luck on the plateau or above the plateau outside the 4th? There's so many lurkers here, man. It would be, if he spreads them, I don't think he can actually do much.
Yeah, well, there's a ton more lurkers coming in here now as well, and it should be noted that Armada has a pretty zealot-heavy army. He does have a decent number of dragoons in here too. It's just like a huge army in general, but these lurkers could shred through these zealots, so he's gonna have to be careful in where he attacks. And he's even leaving a group of goons behind here.
So it's starting to stroll up onto the plateau. The lurkers unburrowed by Flo. He has more than 5 lurkers.
Oh no!
8 lurkers just sitting, just chilling. And
nice storms going down. Sorry, go ahead.
Some great storms going down the lurkers, but those zealots could have been melted so much faster, and it's let Armada position his army onto the plateau.
Yeah. Like, maybe Armada breaks through there anyway, but he would have got so much more damage done if those lurkers are buried on time, killing those zealots. There are no zealots left here for Armada, but he still has a great number of goons and a few Templars. It looks like he's just going to choose to go in and kill this 4th base, putting Flo back down onto 3 bases once again, while taking and setting up defenses out of his 4th base. This is just looking better and better here for Armada. I don't know if Flo's going to be able to come back.
Armada in a dominant position here. I do think Flo could have held the high ground if he had his lurkers all spread out and burrowed. It was like 8 to 10 lurkers that were unburrowed, right? That's a lot.
Yeah. Bit unfortunate for him, but Armada just has a huge army up here on the plateau. Looks like Flo is taking another base at the bottom, and he's gonna go try for maybe a counter attack. But at the same time, Armada is pushing in with a ton of Dragoons here, and there's only a couple of lurkers to really help defend.
That's right. The counterattack heading towards Armada's 4th. It might be successful. There's only 4 cannons there, but Flo has more pressing issues with his 3rd base being sieged by this huge goon number.
Yeah, a few Templars in behind, a couple Zealots trying to get out here in front, and reinforcement zones coming in as well. Like, Armada's going to lose this base, but he's actually not going to mind all that much. It looks like he's going to save his probes. Like, the more important base is Flo losing his 3rd here. And I believe he will lose it. I don't think there's any way he can defend this. He's just got so few units, so few anything. And Armada's army is just massive here.
His 3rd base goes down and the game will conclude. Too much production and mining being lost. A drone transfer for those refugee drones, but it's not looking great for Flo. I'm waiting for the 2 letters.
Yeah, spamming out a bunch of colonies there at his natural. It's like, I just gotta defend. I killed his base, right? I just gotta defend. He's not gonna have much mining, but he does, of course, still have mining on 3 bases. Not very saturated with probes, but this army is just unstoppable. No amount of sunkens here are gonna, at least the amount that could fit here, are gonna stop this at this point.
Good game, well played by Flo. That was a pretty good series.
Yeah, I really enjoyed those games. Well, Armada overcame Flo. Nice to see. Nas boy taking it down.
That takes it 2-1, so that's 1-1 flying SCVs to Cheese Police. And we've got a PVT here. Neon Sword vs Jedi 1.
Okay. Well, I feel like on paper, Jedi 1 is supposed to take this just because he won both King of the Tiers tournaments, I believe.
That's an impressive feat to say the least.
So he's definitely been one of the strongest players in CPL the last couple seasons, and some might even say he's too strong to play in CPL in the league. He should be more of a coach, but we'll see how the games go.
Over in the bottom left, we've got our Magenta Terran. It's Neon Sword.
Alright, and in the top right it is the aforementioned Pale Green Protoss Ash Jedi 1.
And a probe immediately coming out. This could be for a proxy gate, like a single proxy gate, or it could be direct for a gas steal. I see it's entering towards the left side, so what Jedi 1 will do is proxy a single gate. If we think back to the game that Stanel had against Specialist on Eclipse, I think it'll be the same location.
Yeah, looks like probe is going right there. Pylon going down. Now, yeah, is he going to steal the gas with us too? He certainly could. We'll have to see.
You can do 7 pylon 8 gate, or you can do 8 gate. 8 pylon 9 gate, and then I think he did 7 pylon. Did he? Yeah, he did. So this is 8 gate. He'll do the gas steal immediately after this gate, and I don't think Neon Sword will be able to take his gas because he wants to put his barracks down, right?
Yeah, he would have to take his gas before his barracks here, and it looks like he's actually going to go.
He's actually opted to do that. And
but okay, go ahead.
Well, the barracks. He should be blocking the position of the barracks because he knows he wants to wall the ramp, right? Look at the position of the first depot. That probe should be there, and it is. It's where it's going. It just needs to chill and do its
just
thing.
in time. You can even build a pylon there. Yep, exactly.
Pylon blocks
Beautiful.
the barracks. This
yeah,
barracks
and
is
he
late.
really needs to get that barracks. Yeah, well, even because he took the gas, right? It's going to be really late. Like this first zealot is going to be in there before the barracks is even done.
Right. So the second depot, if it goes below the barracks, that doesn't form a wall, right? Does it? Well, I would be ashamed. I can't remember the rhyme. Not with the pylon finishing.
Depot a glove above fits like a glove. depot below Zealots will flow.
That's right.
Ah, thank you, Nablime. You're with us in spirit. All right.
This Zealot also with us in spirit as it moves towards the ramp. 2 SCVs pulled to block, but for how long?
Yeah. This is looking like a ton of damage. Like, we already have gas. Well, we had gas being mined by Jedi 1. I don't know what this is now. He mined 48 gas and then stopped.
So the factory starting up here for Neon Sword, and the positioning is very far away. Jedi 1 did see it as well. I would have liked to see that Zealot perhaps put on the SCV that was building that factory.
Yeah. Oh, that Zealot survives with 1 HP.
It's a very
Looks
lucky
like Neon.
Zealot.
Yeah, he's gonna send that Marine to finish that off. So that's nice. So you can pick that off. SCV's been working on this pylon here. It does kill all the shields and about half of the HP here. Not quite, but
If you think about this, if that first Zealot went onto the factory SCV, Neon Sword needs to pull his Marines over to the factory to try to get it up when the second Zealot's coming in, and he doesn't have SimCity to defend the factory. So
yeah.
I feel like if Jedi 1 sent his Zealot onto that factory building SCV, this would have played out a bit differently. A lot of boys pulled to try to buff the hits and get between the Zealots and Marines, and just hanging out between that nice sim of the depot and the barracks.
Factory's been done for a while. Nothing started. Okay, here we go. The first Vulture is being made now, so we're gonna need to see Dragoons starting to be produced, and we do already have the first Dragoon on the way. So I would say that was pretty worth it there for Jedi 1. Got some good damage done, but Neon Sword does survive for now. And Terran can play pretty defensively and always make some kind of a comeback. Like, it should be noted that Jedi 1 doesn't even have a natural or anything yet, so he's not in a very good position, or a great position for himself. I would still say he's got the advantage here, though.
Yeah, and Jedi 1 is getting some advance notice about that Vulture as it attacked the pylon. Goon coming out to try to intercept it. We all know you can't intercept Vultures, they're too fast for that.
Yeah, we do have him microing this Dragoon, but it looks like he may end up just losing his first Dragoon. Bit unfortunate for him there, trading out a Goon for 2 Marines.
2 Marines, yeah. Even trading it for 3 Marines, I don't like that trade.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, Jedi playing quite safe after the proxy, getting the second gate, not opting to go for a greedy Nexus.
Yeah, looks like Neon Sword wanted to maybe put down that bunker, but Goon comes in, starts hitting it, and Vulture does get into the main here. It's only 1 hit from death, so I don't think it's going to get too many probes, but any probes it can get here are nice. That's 2 probes going down. Will he get the third? Not quite, but he actually is ahead in workers after that. Jedi 1 wasn't maybe producing workers quite consistently, as Neon Sword was able to catch up and actually passed him after those 2 kills.
Yeah, some nice pickings from that low HP Vulture. It's amazing what you can get done with those, even when it's only a few hits from death. And Neon Sword banking some minerals. I think he's going to move to take his his natural quite soon. Oh, he's getting an Eng Bay. How much do you know about Terran SimCity to know if an Eng Bay with a bunker to the right blocks it or not?
Blocks what, a Zealot?
Like a DT. You can do DT proof walls with Terran.
I don't know. Oh, okay, well here come the Goons. If he could potentially move forward and snipe that tank, looks like he just wants to snipe the bunker instead.
Please, snipe the tank.
Oh, SCVs are coming out for maybe a probe or an SCV drill, but doesn't quite get that off. So this is looking very bad for Neon Sword. Once again, he's going to have to hold here at this ramp for another tank or something to come out and push these Goons back.
Why did he have the tank on the low ground? Couldn't you have it on the ledge?
Yeah, well, this one's on the ledge. Should push these Goons back maybe, or is he going to try and get in there and snipe that tank? Either way, he lost a bunch of SCVs, so I was beginning to think, this is looking more and more Neon Sword flavored, but after that, it's looking very Jedi 1 favored once again here.
Neon Sword flavored. What does it taste like?
What?
It sounded like you said Neon Sword flavored.
No, I don't know what I said, but I don't think it was that.
Okay.
Oh, favored. Neon Sword favored.
Yeah, no, I
I
know
was
you
thinking,
said favored.
okay.
Yeah,
Is it the Canadian accent or something?
possibly. Or just my uncultured Australian ears.
That could be too. All right, well, and now this is looking good for Jedi 1. He's going to have his natural coming up here. Just finishing off now. Bunch of Dragoons outside, and Neon Sword doesn't even have a natural command center started. Now, Terran can, I mean, he doesn't have to necessarily leave the game. Tanks on high ground can hold off an insane amount of Protoss here, but
Yeah, Jedi's
it's
in
not
a
looking great.
great position. Neon is down on workers and losing his first tank, not getting his natural started. He's now starting in eBay. He's a scared, sheltered Terran, and he's opting. He's taking a guess that maybe Jedi will just go DTs or perhaps like a early Reaver drop, but he's getting it before he even gets his command center. He's so far behind here.
Yeah, we even saw him doing that on the low ground. There maybe it made a little bit more sense if he didn't know what was going on, but now I feel like you just have to take some sort of risk and get that command center done. Get back into this game.
He's building a turret as well before the CC. I can't completely fault him. I myself kind of like going proxy single gate and then just going DT later, catching the Terran off guard. But it's not how this played out, and the command center goes down at 9 minutes 10 seconds. Jedi 1's natural is mining right now, and the support bay is being added, so we're going to see some Reaver action.
Yeah, and he's getting poised to take a third here potentially as well. Pylon blocking it off. Now Shuttle's going to fly in, see if he can pick off some tanks here, so that turret is going to come in handy. We were criticizing it, but that turret is going to push away these shuttles that shuttle for now. Keeping off the tanks.
Shuttle, and it had 2 zealots in it.
All right, well, that did not go particularly well there for Jedi.
No. He could have flown the shuttle onto the Terran's high ground. There's no turret covering those 3 tanks there. Maybe that's the time when you want to dive in with the army. It can be difficult to kind of misjudge the range of that turret, and he lost the shuttle and 2 zealots that didn't get dropped for it as well.
Yeah. Nice little win there. Helped Neon Sword maybe get back into this game a little bit, but still looking very Jedi 1 favored at this point.
A starport started at the top left of Neon Sword's base. Perhaps he's also going to try to use some drops to come back into the game, but he's still very far behind, being down 14 workers.
Yeah, well, drops at the third base could be very nice, as that is getting pylon wall blocked off. Just going to be harder to get Dragoons up in there, so Vulture drop in there could do a lot of damage, or even a couple of tanks. But we do have Shuttle with 2 Zealots. Looks like the Reaver is... Oh, Reaver actually hasn't even been started yet. So going to be a little bit before he can go in flying and try and get some damage done with that Reaver.
Looks like he's researching shuttle speed, but yeah, the Reaver has not yet been added. Is he just going to go in for another 4 Zealots again?
Yeah, do you think this is just... He got it just for shuttle speed and he's not even going to make a Reaver?
Possibly.
Yeah, because that Reaver still hasn't started. He has plenty of money for it and supply. Okay, the Reaver is just starting now.
Yeah, it's a bit of an expensive investment to get a support spay and just go for speed. Yeah, I don't normally say that.
Yeah, that's why I was so curious about this. I'm like, why is there no Reaver though? But the Reaver has started, so it's just going to be a delayed Reaver, but Neon Sword may not be expecting a Reaver at this time, thinking, okay, no Reavers are coming. He's just getting into a bunch of gateway units, stuff like that. He does have 1 scanner, but I don't think he's scanned anything, so he doesn't even know about the Reaver tech yet, I'm pretty sure.
But we do have that starport just finishing the dropship now, and If I was Neon, I'd be heading towards that third base for the drop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, perhaps drop 2 vultures in there and continue on into the main. The Dragoons won't be able to get in and assist.
Yeah, well, he is only have 2 vultures. He's going to pick up a third one here, but you can still do that. Drop 2 there, maybe 1 in the main or something. We'll see where this dropship goes. Looks like he's headed towards maybe the natural or something.
Yeah, gonna be a bit of multi-task 4 going on here. As the dropship heads towards the third base of Jedi 1. Shuttle idle outside the net. Out comes the vultures. Probes immediately drilled back home, but still does lose quite a few there. And he's blocked from getting his goons in, but thankfully a speed shuttle's here to help with a pair of goons dropping down this.
This is why he got speed in the first place or so early, you know. He knew he needed to shuttle some over there if drop came. So the big brain Protoss plays.
And now Jedi 1 dropping with the Reaver, getting a couple of SCVs, not too huge damage, and it's continuing on into the main. There is a turret, but it's not positioned at the bottom.
Oh. Is this Reaver going to get the armory? No.
No. Good pull of SCVs from the insult to the top part, kind of being protected by the turret's range there. The shuttle's coming back, eats a siege shot immediately, but does kill about 4 SCVs. Neon Sword, you know, he was behind in workers and now he's just further and further behind. I think he might have lost something like 6 to 8 SCVs during that.
Yeah. Scan goes down. Scans the 4 gateways in Jedi's main base there. Just trying to see what's going on. Doesn't see any additional tech, so not have to worry about any like arbiters or carriers coming anytime soon. But he's still in a very bad spot. He does have his 3rd command center flying over here towards the 3rd base. Nothing to really protect it as of now, but of course Jedi needs to know about that if he wants to attack and kill it, which of course he does not know at this point.
Being quite relentless with this dropship harass. SCVs needing to be pulled again. Gets a nice clump of falls. 4 SCVs, I can tell you, my Reavers don't ever seem to do that.
I can tell you my Reavers never get this much damage in PvT.
I feel like my Scarabs can hit a huge bunch of clumped SCVs and it'll just kill the 1 SCV and all the others will just go to low health, but it won't kill them.
SCVs are too strong. Alright, well, this is one way to take your 3rd base, you know, transfer some tanks over there, then transfer some SCVs over there with the dropship. Slowly ferrying it over there. Because you can't really get out past the Dragoons, don't want to give away that position. So.
Yeah, you don't see this every day. So Jedi just hasn't scouted it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of cute. If he sets up like a depot wall and some turrets, I think he can secure it.
Yeah, he is getting those turrets up now. So a couple of depots up there or something, all of a sudden he's got himself a 3rd base that Jedi's completely unaware of.
Some scans going down, he sees Jedi's 3rd base. And there's 3 cannons, and I like the positioning of these cannons as well. Adding in a 4th. So I think this is somewhat drop proof. The one hole I could see is at the very top of it, like a tank could be dropped on the north side of the 4th base.
Dragoon does get picked off from the tanks at the 3rd base here. I don't know if he sent it over there or if it wandered in.
Yeah.
But now Jedi knows what's up. Looks like he's going to try and bust this position. He's flying in here with 2 shuttles, 2 Reavers, 4 Zealots, and a couple Dragoons maybe to follow up here.
Yeah, I think this just might be too much. Vultures trying to intercept the goons, moving up towards the 3rd base. But the Reaver's up there and it's going for the clumps of SCVs. This is a very long distance from the natural to 3rd on Eclipse. I don't think Neon Sword's going to be able to stop this attack and he's going to lose the 3rd base, and with that I believe the game. And it looks like there was a vulnerability at the 4th base after all. Also on the left side, a tank has just barely been able to fit. But Jedi did not fully block his ramp this time, and the goons can quite easily and quickly pick off the tank. It's all...
There was actually 2 tanks there, but one died to a cannon.
Ah, okay. GG is called by Neon Sword, and we move into game 2. Jedi 1 being the superior flavor of game 1.
You might say it's to be expected almost. I mean, he did win the King of the Tiers tournaments. Pretty strong player. But, I mean, Neon Sword did a very good job defending and holding off for a while there, but he just took too much damage early on. And he did what he could. It just, you know, he was too far behind to make a comeback.
Yeah. He led with an early nice advantage, and even though Jedi, you know, he flubbed that attack at the natural of Neon Sword, he was still far ahead. Over in the top left, our tier 0 dominating player is the brown Protoss. We have Jedi 1 in the top left.
Alright, and in the bottom left, sharing the same side of the map here, we have our magenta Terran, repping that magenta once again. It is a Neon Sword. Neon Sword is a guy that's been around for quite a while too. He's been in a lot of previous CPLs, as is Jedi 1, so yeah. He's always been a fairly decent Terran. I could see him taking a game here, maybe. He could do it. I believe in him. I want to see it. I want a game 3.
Well, just remember, we all prepare a lot, especially for like semi-finals. You would be practicing a lot for these matches, I would hope. So, you know, upsets do have the ability to happen more so than in like normal tournament weeks.
Yeah, and of course, being at CPL, you know, being in the same tier, everyone should be within a couple hundred MMR in a perfect world, of course, of each other. So we'll see how this game is. I mean, Fighting Spirit, a map everyone's pretty much comfortable with here. No proxy shenanigans coming out from Jedi this time. Just going to play it standard, maybe a bit more standard straight up here with the gateway in the main.
And Neon Sword looking to wall in his natural. Does not want to deal with the Zealot shenanigans again. As we saw last game, though that did get punished, the probability of a probe coming in early, like on Eclipse, is very slim.
Yeah, being a 2-player map and all, of course. Okay, it looked like the probe was going to scout in the right direction, but I think he's going to
scouting the right direction.
Scout the middle. He's scouting the middle. Yeah, he wants to make sure there's not 2 barracks sitting there in the middle of the map. And now he will go down and continue on towards the correct base there.
Ooh.
Oh, look, even
SCV just gets in a clip of the probe, but I think it would be really hard to see on the mini-map.
Yeah. Well, look what he did. He actually canceled the barracks for a second, or stopped building the barracks for a second to start that depot. 61 health. Wouldn't be funny if that probe kills it now.
It would be. Surely that won't happen. Yeah, right. Barracks is finishing.
Okay.
What do you think about Tufak on FS in this position?
Close positions can be pretty strong. It's only a 22-second-ish rush distance, I believe. It's not too bad. It's pretty close.
He is taking off gas. He's taken all 3 SCVs off gas. Normally you'd leave 1 on gas, wouldn't you? Seems a bit unusual.
It could be just like a correction mistake. He's like, oh, I had to deal with the probe and left his SCVs mining gas a little longer than he wanted to.
Yeah.
Could also point towards maybe just wanting to get that Vulture out first and not needing the gas for the add-on in tank right away. Yeah, there goes 1 SCV back on gas now. It's like, okay, it's been enough time, I can get that gas back. So just trying to optimize it a little bit for maybe correcting a mistake there. And we are going to see the command center coming down now on the high ground.
I think Jedi 1 is going for the classic 23 next. Forget about 28 next. This is all the rage these days. Pylon coming down. The next decision to make at 23 supply after your pylon is, are you going to build 2 probes, or are you going to build a 3rd goon to be safe to any aggression? And if the Terran is kind of if the Terran's like walled off like this, I don't mind the idea of building a third goon, just in case.
Yeah.
He doesn't have vision of that third command center. Sorry, the second CC. I think if he moved his goon up to the north spot on the ramp a bit.
Oh, he does.
He just barely. Oh, he sees it now.
Okay, he sees it now.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on. He's got the info he needs to get.
Yeah, so maybe a bit risky going for those probes without confirming that ahead of time. But it's going to pay off for him here, not getting that third goon and getting the probe production. And he's going to go into that robo, so once again, just looking stock standard here. Going to get that second gateway. Is he going to add on a third one, or is he just going to stay on 2? Usually you just stay on 2 unless you're worried about maybe a early tank push, like a FAC, CC FAC type of push coming. You could sometimes go up to 3 to help defend that.
8 probe transfer, it's pretty optimal for 23 next. And command center is moving in for Neon.
Alright, eBay is being completed here as well. Continue to build tanks, and there's the second factory, so Neon could still have the option here to potentially do some kind of a follow-up push. Now Jedi looking like he wants to take his third base here pretty soon as well. That would be a very quick third if he takes it like right now.
It would
Even
be
before observers. Oh no, he does observers.
Turret comes down. Neon a bit weary perhaps from the Shuttle Reaver play of last game, and Jedi is going to look to go into his third base shortly. There's no robotics support bay, and is this his first observer coming out now?
Yeah. Well-timed observer. 23 next year observer can get to the base right around 6:30, so he sends it right there. It'd be pretty much perfectly timed.
Pylon at the 9 o'clock. I like to actually see that pylon put on location where the command center would have gone. Sometimes it can just delay it more and help you end up in a weird position where they're flooding the third CCs while having the siege tanks on the low ground trying to move up. But nonetheless, it's a good spotter pylon for any drops that might be going on.
Yep. As well as when he wants to take that third base, so nice heads up play. Looks like he's going to go ahead and possibly put a pylon down at 6 o'clock as well, just to have full vision right around the Terran base. And looks like no, he's just going to scout that. He's not going to put a pylon there, but he's going to check it, make sure there's no early third base coming out here from Terran. Some kind of shenanigans. Observer gets into the base and checks on the factory count there and sees 4 factories. So it looks like Terran may be wanting to do a little bit of a push here in the mid game.
Yeah, I like the decision to just check every base, because we saw Neon saw ferry SCVs and tanks over to the third last game. Maybe that's kind of in Jedi 1's mind. And we have a tank move out, and the observer is going to get some vision of this and see it coming. Goons in position, some SCVs pulled.
Jedi's still only on 2 gates. He does have Reaver Tech on the way as well, but it's not done yet, so gonna have to be a little bit careful here as Jedi 1. This could definitely push him back or do some damage if he's not too careful and tries to dive in on top of these tanks. But he is gonna pull back for now, buy himself some time, get that Reaver out, get a couple Zealots out, and hopefully be able to break this push.
This is 4-fac pressure, and Jedi only has 2 gates up, and he's going to need to work some magic. Of course, FS having the ability to build almost anywhere, so you can proceed with your push with turret support. The bridge looks pretty secured by Neon Sword here. Being said, first speed shuttle comes out with 2 Zealots and a Reaver, moves over the forces of these tanks. Only gets 1 Zealot dropped, catches a bit of turret fire. I don't like Jedi's position here. I think it's going to be difficult for him to bust out.
Yeah, this is getting more and more dangerous. More turrets are coming up, and there's been some reinforcements rallied in, another tank coming up. Like, this is beginning to be a very good position for Neon Sword. I like his, positioning kind of against the wall here. Turret coverage, slowly moving the tanks up. Yeah, Jedi One's is starting to feel the pressure. I mean, these tanks are in range of this observatory and some of his wall now. Looks like the shuttle is coming in with 2 Reavers in it. Let's see what he can get done.
Needs to do something now. Snipes up the first leading tank. Goons in position, taking a lot of stage tank fire. 2 Reavers dropped.
Oh, there's no supporting vultures. I think he breaks this.
I don't believe it. Didn't look like it was going to be broken.
Oh, he turns around, leaving 1 tank there. He definitely could have killed off.
All of those goons are pretty low HP. Like 1 volley could kill 3, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If he had just like a few more zealots there, I think he does break that position. It was surprisingly close.
Yeah, well, Shuttle wants to maybe try and dive out there, but the turrets are well placed, even getting prepared there. A couple more tanks coming in. So the danger of this push isn't necessarily over yet. As more tanks reinforce this, there's not really any extra units here for Jedi 1. Where are all his goons and zealots?
Oh, it looks like there's a bit of a misrally. Well, the goons haven't been, the gateways haven't been rallied, but they're coming, reinforcements coming down now. So 4 very low HP goons to the north side of the bridge and some force to the left. I feel like the Reavers are kind of limited in what they can accomplish here as well.
Yeah, the well-placed turrets, they can't really get anywhere to do the damage they need to do on top of these tanks. There's still not a lot of supporting units, but there are a few more vultures coming in, a few more tanks. Like, he almost broke this push, but now it's starting to look scary for him again. He is moving in. Still some slow zealots, a couple of mines going off. He's going to drop the zealots right on top of these tanks. Will he finally clean this up?
Oh, a whole bunch of gateway units getting in a commanding position to clean up this fortification that Neon Sword had set up. We're losing some zealots to mines there, but look at Jedi 1's minerals.
Yeah, wow. He definitely could have had a few more gates producing a bunch of units there, and maybe that was the lack of units I saw. It's like, it seems like he has too few units for what he has. And behind all this, Neon Sword did get his 3rd base up and running as well. Now we do have a 4th base started for Jedi that I don't know if that probe sees it now. A couple more units coming in here. Tanks sieged up. All the zealots are pretty much going down, so Jedi 1 is going to have to back out.
And Neon also having a vulture in the top right to see the 4th base of Jedi.
Oh, does it see it? No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't quite see it, so I don't know if he scouted.
There we go.
Okay, he does now.
Yeah.
Now where are we at in this game? It looks like supply-wise, Jedi's in a fine position here. Neon has had this 3rd base up and running for a little bit, whereas Jedi's still been on 3 bases and wasn't really spending during that. So I do kind of favor. Now looking at the supply, I want to say Jedi 1, but I feel like this is still anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, the first 2 armories are coming up now, so Neon Sword is on 0-0. But Jedi 1's tech was also quite delayed in defense of that push. His archive's just coming up now. And a streak of vultures shooting towards the top right. There's a big probe transfer coming up as well, laying some mines down in between.
He's going to catch a lot of probes here. That's always a nice pick-off for Terran and a feels bad moment for Protosses.
Great catch there by Neon Sword, but we'll be able to secure the 4th if with a smaller amount of probes. Transferring them from the top, 12 o'clock base. And I like Neon Sword, he's walled off the 6 o'clock base. Feels like it could have a few turrets and a tank added perhaps. SCV going into the bottom right, perhaps a scout or build.
Oh, no way, look at this. Oh, I thought the vultures were going to go right in line of those probes again and catch the next probe transfer. That would have been a very nice pickoff if he could have got that, but not quite. They're going to stop and place some mines here in the middle of the map. Let's see if they can pick off maybe a couple of Zealots here. Don't want to really engage those Dragoons though. Okay, he's going to run back, maybe try and bait them into the mines, but there is an observer there, so those Dragoons should be able to pick off those mines now.
And I don't see a tribunal for Jedi. He's doing the Templar shuttle style, I believe, which I find is very difficult to execute.
Yeah.
Have you tried it before?
I have tried it a few times, and I usually lose to people I normally beat. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's fun to play. It's a lot of fun to play, but it's really hard to do properly or execute correctly. You just have to keep trading out tanks appropriately and stuff. It's just, I don't know, hard to pull off for sure.
Yeah, Jedi 1 just getting a whiff of Neon's third base in the 6 o'clock.
Now,
Probably a little bit startling. I think he was thinking this is a 2-base push. Neon Sword moving forward with his tanks and vultures towards the natural once again of Jedi.
This feels like the do or die moment maybe. Because, I mean, it looks like a kind of a scary push, but we got to remember these tanks and vultures are still 0-0 here.
We do have 2 Templars from Jedi, but they don't have any mana for storms yet. It's going to be a little bit of time before they're able to do that. Would have liked to see some SCVs with this push for more turrets while he moves up here.
Yeah, a few goons getting baited in, one going down there. A few reinforcements that Neon could bring up here as well. Nice push path. He's going to unsiege some of those tanks, move them forward, siege up. Looks like Jedi 1 wants to try and go around maybe for a backstab or kind of like a sandwich play and try and attack from 2 angles here. We'll have to see what his plan is. Most of those mines did get cleaned up earlier, so there isn't a lot to slow down this army, but now Neon Sword is pushing here towards the natural. Where's this other army going to go? Is it going to go towards the Neon Swords? Okay, he's going to kind of try and sandwich, but I feel like this is actually quite late of a sandwich move.
It is. He engaged with
army
one half.
Is gone.
That's right, he engaged with one half, and now it's... No one wants to eat...
Oh, no! Oh, he lost like almost a control group of units to a couple of mines there, too.
Have you ever eaten a sandwich that only has one side of bread?
Yes.
Really? Was it satisfying?
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Just like that attack at the bridge we saw wasn't.
And just like that, Neon Sword is now in a commanding position here. He's got the supply lead, and he's down on SCVs, so his army lead is even bigger than that. He's even setting up a 4th base now as well. And the whole army of Jedi 1's been reset. Is Neon Sword going to come back in this now? I feel like that was quite a blunder there from Jedi 1, but it works out in Neon Sword's favor.
Yeah, I feel like if the sandwich was executed a bit more properly, Jedi 1 probably would have came out ahead, potentially. And he doesn't have enough gates. He's floating 3k at the moment, starting to build some additional ones in the top right expansion.
Yeah, but his whole army is getting pinned up here in the natural. Yeah, he's either got to do something with it or back up, or I don't know what he can do though. There's so many tanks here, some vultures in the mix, more army even coming up here. He's going to try and drop a few zealots on these tanks, but maybe kill off a couple. I don't think it's going to be enough.
It doesn't look that way. It's a choke fest in the natural. These tanks relatively unscathed by that attempted zealot drop.
Yeah, and now Neon is 30 supply ahead, just pushing forward with the pure mech army here.
GG by
is,
Jedi.
oh, wow.
It doesn't feel good losing to that when you're floating a lot of minerals, and we see some 4.6k at the end there. Perhaps, you know, more of a gateway flood earlier could have accomplished what he needed, or executing that sandwich. We'll call it a sandwich attack, okay? A bit more cleanly.
Yeah, well played from Neon, taking advantage, not letting Jedi get back in after making that mistake and losing all his units, and showing he can go toe-to-toe with Jedi and giving him the finishing blow and taking the game, making this a 1-1 game once again, or 1-1 series once again. Heat giving you some heck for your open face sandwiches.
He shouldn't be giving it to me. He should be giving it to Jedi 1. Moving into game 3 on Ascension. In the top at the 12 o'clock position, we have our Magenta Terran Neon Sword.
Alright, and in the bottom right, it is the orange Protoss Jedi 1. Alright, well, do you think Neon Sword can do it? Is he gonna take the series down, or is Jedi 1 gonna win and bring home a point for his team?
I want to say the underdog can do it. So I always like to see an underdog victory. You said that you think Neon Sword is the underdog. So that's what
I'm just basing this off the fact that, yeah, Jedi 1 keeps winning these King of the Tiers tournaments and everything, but I've played him too as well, and I know he's quite strong.
Yeah, I think I casted Jedi 1 earlier in the season, and he did the Shuttle Templar style again, and he executed it really well. I was quite impressed. What do you think he'll use here? On Ascension, I've seen, at least at the pro level, that Shuttle Templar gateway style seems to be pretty common. But I think odds and carriers are just as viable. Carriers aren't a bad idea for this map. There's quite a bit of terrain going on that you can abuse on the sides.
Yeah, that can also be good for the shuttle drops and stuff as well. I've definitely seen a lot of games from Best doing the Shuttle Templar drops on this map. From like his personal stream and stuff.
Yeah, he started streaming on Twitch. He's been streaming there for a while now. A lot of those Africa pros have kind of multi-streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Africa itself. It's good to like go onto Twitch and like browse the SC streams and see like Snow and Best and Light, you know, streaming there. Something that we hadn't had for a while.
Yep. All right. Well, Probe is gonna find the Terran here first. Not gonna be able to get in. So nice little wall off block there from Neon, not wanting to take damage from a Zealot once again, like game 1 there. Meanwhile, it looks like Jedi is just saving up for a Nexus here, so this is a gate expand coming out from Jedi, and he's straight up skipping the Zealot, going straight into that Nexus.
Yeah, this is normally when I've seen this and when I've used it, I go gate and then Nexus at 13. Jedi doing it a little bit later. I guess he can skip the Zealot completely because of the wall off, or just not bother getting it a bit earlier. He's not going to do any damage with it. Okay. But think of this build as like Zealot core Zealot, just with a Nexus added in near the start after the gateway.
Instead of the core?
Yeah.
And the gas.
And the gas, yeah.
Alright, well, first Zealot is out now, and Neon Sword is going to scout this. Now, is he going to think this is a 12 Nexus or something, or is he going to be... Okay, I know this is not 12 Nexus because the gateway's done and the first Zealot's out already.
Yeah, you should be able to tell here. I think some Terrans might be a little confused, but... One thing about it is you are sacrificing econ. It's not as strong as it's definitely not as strong as a 12 Nex in terms of econ, and he's adding a second gate pretty early as well.
Maybe afraid of something like a 2-fac coming out, because he of course did not confirm what was going on. He like has no confirmation of a command center or anything, as he wasn't able to get in the base there. Now if he gets up to this wall, he should be able to see the command center, and there he will be able to confirm that command center, so he's feeling a little bit safe that a push isn't coming his way here shortly.
Yeah, I think the decision to start the second gate was good from Jedi 1. You could perhaps cancel the second goon here unless he thinks he can get some damage with it, and just go straight into robotics, right? You know, a push isn't going to come for a while.
Well, he is going to continue to make those Dragoons, maybe see if he can poke out the wall or even delay or deny this natural coming up for a bit, which would be a huge win for him if he could do that. Would like to see, like you said, him throw down that Robo here fairly shortly. Looks like he's going to have to bank up a little bit more gas before he's going to be able to do that, though.
Yeah, I think the build is normally you get your robotics, then you take your second gas, try not to halt any probe production. But a little bit off here. Engebay coming up from Neon. I must say Neon's played quite safe all 3 games. Doesn't want to lose to early DTs or Reaver drop or something like that.
Still a fine way to play. Looks like he's not going to have that command center delayed at all, really, by Jedi, so he's going to have a couple tanks out and start mining right away. Meanwhile, we do have a third Nexus being started here for Jedi 1. Looks like he's going to try and push in here. I don't know if this is going to go well for him. Maybe we want to need to pick off the tank. The repair is good. Okay, he does get 1 tank. 1 tank for 1 Zealot. Okay, that's not too bad. And now it's going to let him do a little bit of damage to this barracks and maybe a couple of SCVs.
Yeah, I think the goons may need to back off here with that reinforced second tank. And there's more goons coming up for Jedi.
Oh, the tank can hit that small choke from there. Yeah. Tank range, man.
So the third choice from Jedi is interesting as well.
Yeah.
It's quite a distance from the main. Normally you just expand to the north of your natural here at the 3 o'clock.
Do you think it's more of for a hidden thing, or because it's got some kind of a high ground property, but it's also low ground compared to that? I'm curious. Like, it's not necessarily quite as open maybe as that other third base, but it's still very open. Like, you can come in from 2 different directions with wide openings there, right?
Yeah, and it's got the plateau right next to it as well. You can imagine tanks on that cliff. Maybe he just didn't want to expand in the way that's kind of like towards the Terran's main. Like that's the only reasoning I can really think of. But I don't think it's too needed, especially on Ascension. Look at this pro transfer. They're walking a mile to get here. But you can just think of like, you know, if there were a bunch of vultures on the map, they could kind of wreak some havoc here. It's not as easy to defend. I like the idea of drops on this map as well. Looks like Jedi is going into... Well, looks like he's doing the same thing that he did in the Eclipse game, where he loads up a shuttle with 4 Zealots before a robotics support bay. No, he has a support bay as well. Does he have... He doesn't have shuttle speed though.
You know, and it's not being upgraded. Looks like he wants to just drop some Zealots in for a bit of harassment, maybe kill some turrets, or if there's some tanks somewhere he could drop on, but shuttle goes in. Is he going to unload the Zealots, or is he just going to turn around?
Don't think they're going to get too much done here without Reaver. However, it is probably psyching Neon Sword out, so there's something.
Yeah, something to be said for that, distracting him a little bit or whatever.
Also, it's letting him scout the factory count, right? Because he doesn't have an observer out, I don't believe. Does he have an observatory? Yeah, he does. It's at his third, but he doesn't have an obs out.
Yeah. All right, well, second shuttle out now. I am a bit surprised we don't have shuttle speed started. If he's going multiple shuttles like this, it does lean towards maybe, you know, speed shuttle type play, or like you were saying, maybe you can transition into those Templar drops type of play a little bit later. But okay, there's shuttle speed started just now.
Just as you mentioned it, yep.
Yep. Caster Curse or something like that, right?
It does seem like a little bit later than you'd want it, wouldn't it? Like, yeah. I'm not sure. Shuttle speed, like, to me, is normally started a bit earlier than that, but...
Yeah. Possibly, maybe it was just a mistake. He thought he started it, didn't start it kind of thing, you know, where you click it, but you didn't have enough minerals or whatever.
It is a very expensive upgrade.
200.
Yeah.
Now we do a vulture. We're wandering around the map, just kind of seeing what's up, making sure there's no bases over here on the left side. Doing some scouting. Little probe there to action outside, just to see when Neon Sword wants to move out, maybe take a third base.
Yeah, 5 factories and +1 on the armory. I'm not sure he's doing this 5-pack as a timing attack, more so to secure the third, or what do you think he'll do with it?
Well, he has +1, so already that kind of says to me that I think he maybe wants to go for an attack, but I'm not sure how well a 5-pack necessarily can do on this map. It just feels like it's a longer push path because you can't really go through these smaller chokes very easily, so you kind of have to go a longer way around, but maybe Jedi won't be expecting this here. He does have the 2 shuttles and reavers to try and help defend, but yeah, it looks like Neon Sword is going to move out onto the map. He'll probably take a third behind this, but this could be a scary push if Jedi doesn't see it coming.
Moving on to the plateau. Jedi with a bunch of goons in the middle, and he's gone with 2 reavers and he's gone with 3 speed shuttles. It's hype.
Oh yeah.
And the speed shuttles are going into the main. We have...
Oh, yeah. There's actually a lot of units.
The shuttle with the reaver is getting targeted. He lost the shuttle with 2 reavers.
Oh, the one he really didn't want to lose. And yeah, that dropped at nothing. So that was a lot of supply for 2 vultures.
That's a huge loss to Jedi. Normally what you do is you position it so the first shuttle that goes in first has zealots in it, and that's the one that gets auto-attacked.
Yeah. Now, we hear a bunch of scans going down like crazy. I feel like Neon Sword can definitely go for a push, right? Knowing he killed so many units and the reavers and shuttles.
Yeah, I think going for a counterattack straight after that is the way to go here. It's moving...
looks like he is besieged. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, goons bleeding goons to mines, does not have an observer position with them, trying to get to the vultures, and this huge stream of Terran units. Another shuttle goes down.
I think he's gonna get him. Look, half of Jedi 1's army is out of position to help defend this. He's at the bottom base trying to defend his 4th base from vultures, so this is gonna allow the tanks and vultures to get of Neon Sword's main army to get into a position he wants to be in here. Gonna be able to take the high ground and siege up. This is gonna be hard for Jedi to defend.
And he just doesn't have the army count here. Floating 2k, but still not very many gateways. Neon Sword slowly closing down from the high ground towards the natural.
Oh, those Dragoons still aren't coming back to help in the fight. They're still stuck here in the middle of the map. Okay, they're starting to come out, but Jedi's losing all his army. Kind of like what we saw last game where he's only getting half of the army at once, only half of the sandwich here. Jedi's just floating some money too. The supply lead for Neon is growing. I think he's gonna do it, man. I don't know.
This count is huge, and the goons, even though they're gonna have the high ground, there's more tanks than there are Dragoons right now.
Yeah, like even if this army gets cleared out, Neon Sword's still sitting on a 3rd base here. So he's still in a fightable, like he can still come back. He takes out that natural nexus. Jedi's just trying to buy some time, trying to jockey for position here, maybe get a few more zealots out. They don't even have leg speed done yet. Maybe he's waiting for that because it'll really help, but even if he clears it out, the damage has kind of been done.
Yeah, I'm not sure the positioning wants the goons. Maybe to fend off reinforcements from Neon, but even this looks like a bit of a struggle. He's going to bleed some goons here, for sure.
Yeah.
Some nice...
That went about as well as it could have.
Yeah, but he needs everything to go well for him. With every possible engage that can possibly happen.
Alright, shuttle loaded up for zealots. But now he's got really no goons. Backbone of the army now. This is mostly tanks. There's not really a lot of vultures in here as well, but it's just such a tight choke to try and fight out of as well, you know? Like he can't really get his army out from his main base to engage.
And he's got 3 Goliaths as well. It'll help with the shuttles. The shuttle going into the middle to drop on those 2 lone tanks as he closes in with goons, trying to get whatever he can. Oh, and look, Look at the 7 o'clock base. It's just being picked apart by some vultures on the right side, and there's also 2 tanks on the plateau that could siege. He could potentially hit both of these expansions with these tanks.
Yeah. Well, Neon's got a bunch more units coming across the map as well to meet up with this army. It's going to have to be do or die time now for Jedi 1, I feel. He's got to clear out these tanks before it can be reinforced. He's going to try and drop on it with this shuttle. He's going to kill maybe a couple of tanks here. Shuttle goes down. I don't know if it's going to be enough. The reinforcements are getting in position. He's going now, but is this going to work? I don't think it will.
Stream result is coming in from the main, but there's not much compared to that huge tank count. Like he is picking off some tanks, but it's just not enough. And Jedi's coming up to 5k minerals. Macro being a struggling issue throughout these games. Jedi 1 calls GG.
Neon Sword takes down the King of the Tiers champ. Wow, well played.
Well played indeed.
Picking up some crucial points for those flying SCVs.
The big part of that game seemed to be that 2 Reaver shuttle just getting picked apart and nothing happening.
Yeah, he just threw away so much supply. Well, how much was that, right? 3 shuttles, that's like 6 supply, and then there was, what, 8 zealots? That's another 14 supply, or 16 supply, sorry. So 22 supply plus the 2 Reavers is, what's that, 4 supply each? I can't even remember.
And investment in the speed
30
upgrade
supply.
as well.
30 supply plus the investment in the speed for nothing, for 2 vultures. That was a huge loss. But well played. I mean, Neon Sword took him down. Nice game.
Neon Sword
2-1 flying with the base.
Yeah, his play kind of, I don't know, reminded me of how Neblam kind of plays, I think. Plays kind of similar. At least that game.
Fair enough. Right, so last match of the evening.
Last match.
Another PvP. We've gone full circle.
Let's hope right. We have our purple jelly Protoss. It's Jelly Mang.
And in the bottom left, we have our brown Protoss going by I Don't Want to Live, but I believe his name was Gandhi or Gandhi.
That's right, Gandhi. Yep.
Now, I was in a BSL group with this guy at one point. It could have even been last season now, but I don't think we ever ended up playing. It just worked out that we didn't get matched against each other, couldn't get the game in. So don't know too much about how well he can play. I have played Jelly Mang only once that I can recall, and yeah, I played him in CPL in preseason, and he did manage to beat me, so...
Okay. I played Jelly Mang in week 7, I think.
On this map.
I think it was week 7 or week 6. We played on Eclipse. It was just like Reaver Goon Wars. Very fun game. And Jelly went like Gate Goon and then into Nexus, where you get your Nexus before the Robo. So obviously a bit of risk with that, and it can pay off. And then in the second game, I 10-12'd him, and he just took too much damage from it, and took the series with that.
Very nice, very nice. Well, we'll see if he wants to go for something like that. It looks like we got the gateway started, and now Probe Scout.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Gandhi wants to go for the 12 Nexus here.
A 12 Nex on Eclipse in PvP?
PvP, yeah.
Hype.
Well, we'll see how this works out for him. It's going to get scouted almost instantly.
What's your response here as Jelly? Because there's different follow-ups, right? You can go Forge, you can go Gate Forge, or you can go 2 gates.
Ideally, you would want to confirm which one it's going to be first.
Yeah.
Looks... Well, he still can't confirm it, but we'll see where he wants to go. Jelly hasn't started mining gas yet. The simulator's been down for a little bit. So he may be limited on his follow-ups here if he doesn't start mining that gas soon.
I think he's choosing to not mine gas because he wants to take his Nexus. That would be the reason for it.
He's gonna make this one Zealot and then take a Nexus, I think. So how do you feel about his response?
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think when it gets scouted by Gandhi, which will be soon, Gandhi can just not opt to like he doesn't need to cut probes. He knows he can just probe up, and he should at least have a slight lead after scouting it.
Now, he could have the option to counter push with some zealots if he confirms here that Jelly's only on one gateway and staying on one gateway. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, I have a faster nexus and I'm going to have more units. But he's going to have to be careful because he still doesn't have gas, so the Jelly is going to have those Dragoons out quicker. A little bit of probe harassment here coming from the Zealot.
Quite a bit
Doesn't
of
look
drilling.
like he's going to get anything
He's
done.
not going to get anything.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd say Jelly has is he has his tech faster, right? It's slightly faster tech than economy. Steadily hasn't started at gas, but well, Jelly's only going to have one Zealot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there could be an option for Gandhi to go across the map, especially because he's still building Zealots, right? Now he's going to have 5 Zealots going across the map against, what, one Zealot?
One Zealot, yep, and a Goon soon to be. Well, the Goon hasn't been started yet. There it comes.
Jelly is throwing down a couple more gateways now, but is he going to be able to hold off 5 Zealots with 1 Zealot and 1 Goon? I mean, normally you have more than this when you're facing a 2-gate, so...
That's right.
It's going to be hard for him. We'll have to see how this goes.
Do you think the Nexus will live? What would you choose to go for the Nexus or the Mineral Land of your opponent here?
Guess we'll see. I'd probably just kill probes or something. I don't know. Well, you would start on the probes, but he would probably pull them, right? I don't know. He does choose to go into the main. He's going to get the scouting intel now here as well. He's going to confirm the 3 gateways. 1 Zealot killing some probes. So, I mean, the first 2 Zealots go down there pretty nicely, only losing a couple of probes. He's going to chase the probes out of the natural here, though.
Yeah, a bit of a probe drill coming. I think Gandhi's in a great position. He's ahead in probes, and he's just getting his core up, so the only thing he doesn't really have is his tech. So it's getting into the Mineral Land. They've had to drill, his probes have had to drill to and from, and it's just great econ. Even losing a Goon early, it's very disastrous for Jelly.
Yeah, and the Zealots are still streaming across the map here. Jelly can't even afford to produce out of all his gateways now. So this is looking pretty bad here for Jelly. It looks like he will eventually stop the pain. Maybe. As long as he doesn't lose another Dragoon. But the damage has been done already. You can see in the worker count he's down 10 probes here. And back on Gandhi's side, he is getting that 3rd gate, and he's still actually making Zealots, which kind of surprises me, but maybe he was a bit slow to mine that gas. Switching over
in
to
the
Dragoon.
natural, even still getting to work on these probes. He's up 13 currently. And he's opted to go 3 gates himself. Actually, a 4th gate. I kind of like this decision for that response, because you're obviously up in workers. You've done a ton of damage. They've got 3 gates. The only way you could possibly lose is if you get overwhelmed by the 3 gates immediately, right? So just pump out your own army out of the gates and potentially just overwhelm them at the natural later when your production kicks in.
Yeah, I mean, he's especially because he knows there's no like threat of DTs or anything. He got the Zealots in the main scout. He knows there's no additional tech on the way from Jellymang. Now Jelly is coming across the map, and there's still not any Dragoons out, so maybe Jelly can get something done here, picking off some Zealots. But with the Zealots and the Dragoons just now popping out. Oh, but he's stuck. Dragoons are getting stuck.
Where are the stuck Dragoons?
By that, like,
by the one on the... There's a...
In Gandhi's main, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he can get them out, but he has to go like through the mineral line and around.
Oh, there's Dragoons stuck at Jelly's ramp as well. He has a Goon on his ramp.
Love this map. You can't blame the map. I mean, Eclipse has been in the ladder forever. It's a great solid map.
No. The 4th gateway. I don't think we can like attribute that to the map. when you go to
No,
put
we
your
can't.
gateway down, you should see that there's no hex gap between, probably the corner of that gateway.
Exactly. But he's just going all in with this now. Look at this. He's throwing down 6 gate. He's going to go 6 gate goon. And honestly, I think it's probably going to work. I don't see... Yeah, like Jelly is getting observers out, but to defend this, he would need his own kind of like 6 gate goon or some reavers or some kind of splash. He's not going to have reavers out in time. Gandhi's pushing him back across the map. And yeah, I mean, he may not even be able to defend what Gandhi has now without the 6 gates.
Yeah. Yeah, this is looking a bit scary. He's outnumbered. There's 4 Dragoons on the way as well to reinforce this. Jelly trying to utilize the high ground, utilize anything to try to help these overwhelming numbers of goons. And this observer is just gonna let him see his impending death a few seconds earlier.
Yeah, pretty much. He's forced to pull the probes. This natural is definitely gonna fall here. He's got a good contain, a nice little line, Congo line or something of Dragoons here, concave, below the ramp. He is going to desperately try and save it, but there's just too much here. Even with the high ground advantage, I don't think he can finish it off. And losing this Nexus, we even have a Nexus going up in the top left corner of the map here from Gandhi. Just like feeling like he needs to hide a Nexus at this point for...
Oh, you got the money. Why not?
Yeah. And now he pushes up the ramp. Too many Dragoon numbers overwhelming him, and Jelly taps out. GG, Gandhi takes game 1.
An interesting opening by Gandhi there. There's actually a Team Liquid thread on that PvP build going 12 necks into 2 gates. So I was practicing it on ladder for a while. There's still a lot of quirks I still need to work out about it. You can end up in positions where they just flood you with goons, and if you don't know that, if you don't have that intel, and you don't cut probes at the right time, you die to it. There can be like, DT drops into your main that dive on your cannon, and if you lose the cannon because you don't have an observer, you lose everything. Lots of little ways that can play out.
Yeah.
Gandhi does need to do some study on Gateway SimCity though, I've got to say. You can't attribute that to the map, you can only attribute it to yourself.
Yeah, especially that map. If it was a funky map with some weird doodad or something, and I can maybe see it that you've never played on, but Eclipse has been in CPL this whole time for 2 seasons. It's been in BSL. It's been on the ladder for 8 months or however long it's been now.
Eclipse is a great map.
And yeah, it's the standard 2-player map right now. These days everyone loves it. So.
Over in the top left spawning is the brown Protoss. We have Gandhi.
All right, and cross map in the bottom right we have Jellymang. Do or die for him and his team. This could be the last game of the night, I suppose. If Jellymang wins it, we will have one more, of course.
I'm hoping for a 3rd game. That'd be good to see. Do you think we're going to see 12 necks again?
Possibly. It can be good here, especially cross map. I mean, if he goes for 12 necks again cross map, that's not bad.
I think if I 12 necks the first game, I'd just be worried about proxy 2 gate on the following map, so I probably wouldn't go 12 necks again.
But then there's the mind games like, well, he doesn't think I'm going to go 12 necks again, so he's not going to proxy 2 gates, so I go 12 necks.
It's very true.
But we'll see. We'll see. Too early to tell just yet. First pylon in the main for both players. This pylon from Gandhi a lot closer to the ramp. But maybe, wants to get his units out a bit quicker there. Looks like he's going to go ahead and put the gateway.
I think it's good pylon positioning for like 10-12, where you want your zealots to come out close to the ramp as soon as possible.
Maybe a little tell that he's going to go for a 10-12 here.
Possibly. Let's see where this probe comes out. No, he's going towards taking his gas. Yeah.
Alright, so pretty much mirrored builds, although Jelly seems to be a little bit ahead on both the gas and the gateway here.
Jelly choosing to scout cross map. just in case we see some proxy gates. Being a bit cautious, and it's going to be rewarded with a first scout onto the other Protoss player.
Now, seeing this, is Gandhi going to scout one of the close spaces and then scout cross himself, thinking, okay, he scouted me so fast, he has to be close to me?
Yeah, I know. I've definitely done that. Like scout top right, then scout top left, and it's empty and barren, and you're like, oh no.
He's just going through the middle too. What is this?
This is
straight cross map.
He must have just been thinking about 9-9 as well, potentially.
Yeah.
It's not often you see both players scout cross though.
Okay. Well, he's going to be rewarded as well with that first scout.
Oh, we have a mana pylon. Missed that in the top left. I'd say it's not as effective when you're building the safety zealot. I feel like mana pylons are much better when they choose to skip the safety zealot.
Yeah. Now, if, like in this case, if Gandhi had gone for a mana pylon, it would be a lot more effective, because we can see Jellyman is skipping that zealot, and that's when you kind of want a mana pylon when they skip those zealots. It does its job then, right?
Yeah, that's right. Pro being chased out.
Yeah.
He would have seen the core not spinning. Oh, and I like this. Gandhi's going straight into an early robotics. What would be really cool to see here is fast speed shuttle play. Do you know that build that I'm talking about?
Maybe. You think that's what he's going to go for?
Maybe. It's pretty hype to see. He's basically he's cutting range. I don't know if he's doing the build or not, but you get your shuttle Reaver and support bay with speed upgrade immediately.
Okay. I was thinking he was going to go for some kind of shuttle Reaver push with this, just because it's that right range right away. Get that fast Reaver out, but he could go speed with that. We'll see.
That's true. It could just be the one base like shuttle.
Oh, look at this! Or it could be neither. What is this?
We've been mind games, Snipe. Us observers got played.
I think he's playing everything. Everyone, I know. Okay, well, he's still getting a observatory and robotic support bay behind this as well.
You know, Gandhi is playing ladder PvP right now. That's the game he's playing.
Yeah. He forgot he was in CPL. He's like, oh, this is just ladder, right?
Yeah, but, you know, maybe he thinks he's in ASL because we saw Flash beat Snow PvP on Eclipse with a play very similar to this.
That is true. Taking that Nexus, hidden Nexus in the top left of Eclipse, double gas base there.
Yeah.
Now, Jelly seems to think something's up or something. Did he just, like, he scouted the 3 o'clock, he scouted top right. Like, he must think something's up, right? To get wind of something? He's kind of scouting around, right?
Yeah, let's see where this probe's heading. Is it heading towards the natural?
Looks like
it is.
Okay, it's going to that now. We'll see if he like hangs around or if he checks other bases. Yeah, he's going towards 12 now. Maybe he knows a little bit about his opponent. Like maybe Gandhi likes to do this kind of thing. Yeah, so he's actually expecting it, and that's why he's scouting around for it.
Do you ever look into intel on your CPL opponents when you're?
Well, I didn't really play this season, but I have watched previous games that they played for sure. See how they like to play. Yeah. Of course, that has actually backfired and burned me before. I'm like, oh, okay, my opponent likes to do this, so I will do this kind of build, and then they do something completely different, and all of a sudden I'm thrown off of my own game. So
yeah, you need to keep your mind open that they might still do something unexpected from your research. And look, so Jelly's gonna catch this expansion.
Yeah, so I feel like this was why, and he is gonna find it. Look at this. All right, so where does he go from here now? Like, okay, he is gonna try and go kill it, but doing this is just gonna leave himself open at his main. Yeah. And he actually is sending less goons than Gandhi's sending, so I don't like this at all.
The unit counts are very similar. They have the same gate count. Four goons engaging each other, but Jelly has a bit of a better opening, focus firing on that initial goon. 3 goons versus 3 right now. It's going to be a close trade. I think Jelly needs to back off with his 2 goons. Perhaps get some Reaver assistance.
Yeah, I liked Jelly's micro there a little bit better and control early on. But now, losing those is a bit unfortunate for him, but he is aware of that. You don't have to kill it right away if you find out about it. Because, like, in this situation, it's still, you got to realize it's still, okay, it's
still
2
even,
base versus 2
right?
base.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's not like he's massively ahead because of this. The only thing this means is his base is in a lot harder place for him to defend if you go for something.
We have a suicidal Reaver by Gandhi in the middle of the base. Perhaps
what is this?
misclick of Misrally, and it instantly gets picked down. We've seen a lot of Reavers die today. Too many Reavers.
Poor Reavers. Alright, well, Jelly wants to press the issue here. He's going to go towards this base. Now he does probably have enough to kill it. With good control here. If he can get up on the ramp before the reinforcements for Gandhi come in here. Nice blocking there. Gonna kind of sandwich these Dragoons in, we'll see. Oh, I think Gandhi's still going to be able to defend here.
Yeah, Jelly now using the high ground a bit, but with these probes... Oh, in comes the
Reaver coming in
with 1 Reaver.
Yeah, I feel like he needed this earlier if he was going to do this.
Yeah, bring it with the goons rather than separately. Okay, I think he was worried about a counterattack because he intentionally left 1 Reaver back at home with some of his goons.
No, and I don't mind that at all because a counterattack is something that's very real in this kind of situation where they have a nexus across the map and you're like, oh, I'm going to go kill that other nexus. But then you left your main base or your natural open to a counterattack, and that could be potentially more devastating.
Yeah, I think I'd be worried about that as well. I think that counterattack would work, like... Gandhi would have more of the ability to do that if it went to, like, instead of Reaver, like 6 gates or something, like just pump pure goon. And then when you see their army move towards the bottom left, you just go in with your goon squad.
Well, Jelly does pick off a few probes here in a cannon. Looks like he's going to even get a Dragoon for his troubles and get out. So, nice play there. He's going to send a few more Dragoons to try and clean up.
These goons
his
glitching out a bit, though.
Oh, they're missing so many shots.
Jelly needing to move his goons up the ramp before engaging that cannon.
Yep.
That's brutal, baby.
Very brutal. All right, now we do see that kind of counterattack play we were talking about coming from Gandhi. But I do think Jelly has enough here to hold this no problem, especially with that Reaver there.
Oh, that Reaver's coming back. Wait, he dropped 1 goon and the Reaver into the bottom left.
Yeah.
So...
Where are these goons going? Oh, they're checking for a 3rd base, I guess.
Gandhi's only mining from 1 base right now.
Yeah. Like, it feels like this whole time Jelly felt like he was under a lot of pressure to kill this base. But he wasn't really, but he still managed to do a lot lot of damage here. Like, you could see the probe count.
Jelly has a speed upgrade, and the shuttle's heading toward the main. That Reaver is very low HP though. I would say just bring it straight to the main.
Yeah. Does get a couple of probe kills, even picks off another Dragoon here. This is looking very good for Jelly.
Yeah, some nice control by Jelly here. And this 1 goon is going at it at these probes in the bottom left. It's just been sitting there.
Looks like it's finally going to maybe be cleaned up by 2 goons, but then the Reaver comes back, tries to get a shot off on those probes, does not quite connect. Oh. Probes get away, but is the Reaver going to go down? No.
Oh my god, the Reaver lives.
Is this the hero Reaver or what? I want to see how many kills it has now. This Reaver's got, I mean, it may not have a ton of kills, but it's got a lot of work done. It's been super valuable.
It deserves the medal.
Yeah, we're not going to see how many kills it has, I bet.
No, we're not.
These goons are going to kill it.
We get rewarded by not seeing. But you know, at least he made Scarabs.
Wait, it gets away.
Some frustration at this hero Reaver.
And nice at the end. He respects the Reaver in the end. At the end of the day. Oh, 2 more Reavers and loading up in a shuttle here for Jelly. He's going for a big push, and I think this is going to work. He's twice the supply now of Gandhi here, and there's no way Gandhi's going to be able to hold this, right? Like, I think he's just
No.
dead here. He'd need to, like, pick off both shuttles even to have a chance.
Well, he has his
And
own
he
2
does have his-
Reavers,
yeah,
but like, it would require Jelly to mess up in epic proportions. Oh, and I like this. He's sending the single shuttle Reaver to the top main to drop in the probe line. I think it's going to bait Gandhi's goons up, and then he can just come in at the natural. Or he's doing it.
Or he's
doing it as he goes in.
Yeah. Gandhi realizes, pulls his own Dragoons back, but there's just way too much here for Jelly, right? Look at the supply difference. Even with the perfect Scarabs, I don't think there's enough here. A couple more Dragoons coming in, the reinforcements. Trading out as best he can, but there's only 1 Reaver left here for both players. Gandhi
6 Scarabs.
Saves it. Look at that, beautiful control there. Jelly is going to take it down, though. And Gandhi with the no GG. And we definitely know he knows how to type in this game. I mean, you're the one that went for the hidden nexus?
Nexus in the bottom left, yeah. That was a fun PvP though, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Alright, so we do have a 3rd game too. That's exciting to see. Every series has gone 3 games except the first one. That's good.
Yeah, the last 2 series the last 2 casts I did, I think every match was 2-0. So it's good to be able to dig into a 3rd game, and in the semi-finals, nonetheless. Let's get this started.
Yeah.
Alright, our final game for the night. In the bottom left, we have our yellow Protoss Gandhi.
And in the bottom right, we have our brown Protoss Jellymang. So I wonder what kind of crazy shenanigans we're going to see from Gandhi this time.
Yeah, it's very non-conventional build so far.
Yeah, are we going to see... I mean, we've seen, I guess, early Nexuses. We had the 12 Nexus, and then we had the Gate Hidden Nexus. With the skipping the range. So when else can you get a Nexus? Like Gate Goon Nexus, like something like that?
Yeah, well, there's been no DTs thus far. Maybe we'll see the appearance of those.
Yeah.
I'll speak about Ascension. There's no ramp on Ascension. So 3-gate is more lethal than your standard map, even though the rush distance is a bit further, because you have no high ground to utilize. So you've always got to keep your mind open to the possibility of 3-gate on this map.
Now, does it make it slightly weaker because they have to go further around? Like, it's even if you have 3-gate goon, you can't really push through that small choke if they have goons positioned behind it, right? Like, you're just gonna have terrible surface area compared to someone standing behind there.
Are you talking about the choke outside the natural?
I'm talking about where the probe for Jellymang just went through. Like, you can only fit 1 Dragoon in there at a time, right? So if 3-gate goon tries to push through there, and you're only on like a 2-gate goon, you could still defend that, I think.
They can shoot the eggs. They can shoot the eggs, and the eggs die fast to Dragoons as well.
Yeah. But you can still only fit 1 Dragoon there, right? Can't you?
Like, no, you can fit a couple.
Really narrow.
You can fit a few after the eggs get shot down.
Okay.
But I'd say like the 3-gate isn't as
any
powerful
eggs.
as say.
Oh no, I'm not talking about where the eggs are. Sorry. That small choke outside your natural.
Ah, that choke.
Because you have to go the long way around otherwise.
Yeah, you do. Unless you've just got larger goon numbers, maybe you can like beeline through the gap and just take the first volley, and you've still got overwhelming goon numbers. But yeah, I guess the positioning helps. And we have is that a mana pylon? No, that's just the defensive second pylon, yeah?
Yeah. Alright, so 2-gate coming out from Gandhi, 10-12. I assume I actually was too busy focusing on the choke to notice that, but 2 gate nonetheless, and we do have a Manor Pylon now trapping a couple of probes. See if Jelly gets those unstuck if he can, at least one of them.
Yeah. Jelly adding a second game response. I did use this strategy against him and he took quite a bit of damage from it when I 10-12 to him. Let's see if he can hold it a bit better.
Alright, well, first Zealot is in here now for Gandhi. Gonna have to bring his own Zealot to help defend now.
Why is Gandhi running his probe out? If he kept it in with the Zealot, he can 2-hit Jelly's probes.
Yeah, he's just gonna send it home. Maybe he's gonna send it somewhere random to build Nexus. 2 gate into Nexus.
Hitting the Dragoon, I don't think that's the best option, but second Zealot coming into the mineral line. Where is his third Zealot? They should be together, they should be coming out together from the gates. Nice little drill between the pylons, but have the Zealots killed any probes yet?
I don't think so, and neither player is making probes at the moment. Both players just focus so heavily on microing here. I feel like if one player was able to continuously make probes during this, they would end up with the advantage after this is all said and done.
Yeah.
Jelly Mang Zealot is fighting the pylon when it could be helping with the Zealot, but he's just focused on microing it. Zealot goes down, so I feel like he's about to defend this, maybe? As long as he doesn't lose either of these Dragoons. They're pretty low on health, but if he can kill these 2 Zealots off without losing these Dragoons, I think he's pretty much held this.
Juggling these 2 low HP goons, otherwise he hasn't actually taken any losses, I believe.
Yeah, and he's ahead in probes now because he managed to make 1 probe during that time. But these Dragoons are critically low. It's going to depend if these go down.
Oh, he just barely nicks one of the goons, and the second goon is endangered on 3 HP.
Oh, man. A micro... It goes down. Oh, that's not what you want to see.
No, and a large stream, continuous stream of Zealots coming from Gandhi, still on 2 gates, but is now teching.
Yeah.
You know, if Jelly had his Zealot not attacking the Mana Pylon the whole time, I think he would have cleaned this up with much more ease.
Yeah, quite possibly. Now, he can still... He's got to get on top of killing these Zealots before too many get in here, especially because he's only on 2 Dragoons here. One of his gates isn't making Dragoons as well.
Yeah, he does have the resources for it. I think it gets cleaned up here, right? The Zealot's gonna go down as the next 1 or 2 trickle in, and he's held it. Does he have goon range? I don't think he started it, did he?
I didn't notice, but I don't think so.
Yeah, there's no way he's got it. And Gandhi's gone into 3 gateways.
3 gateway Dragoons of his own.
Yeah. Does he have range? No, there's no way he has range either, right? So he's got the 3 gates pumping goons without range.
But he's also got these extra Zealots to tank shots. Now he's going to split them off, so he's going to try and dive in, do a backstab with these Zealots. And this could actually do a lot of damage. It looks like he's sending a couple back, maybe? Or he's just, the way he clicked, they're probably just going around the other way, yeah. I think this is going to be too much for Jelly at this point.
Oh no, 3 Zealots heading in. No, he's going to have a reinforced second goon and Zealot, so I think he might be able to hold this. A bit of multitasking needed by both players here. The 3 Zealots head into the mineral line of Jelly. Meanwhile, his 4 Dragoons are now 3, soon to be 1. 1 Dragoon picked off very cleanly from Gandhi's 4 goons up the natural.
Okay, Jelly defends, but there's 4 goons and a Zealot coming across the map. And Jelly's only gonna have 3 goons and a Zealot by the time they get here.
Yeah, do not like Jelly's position here. Yeah, he also lost his goon during that as well in the main.
There's a goon in Gandhi's main as well, from Jelly Main.
How did that goon get there?
Pick up some probes. I mean, this is very nice if he could defend this, but I'm not sure he's gonna be able to defend this, right?
He's got 3 goons.
He's gonna have to pull
some
probes.
of the goons glitching out from... Yeah, he has to pull the boys. Boys are pulled.
Block those goons. Oh, that one's... He's down to 1 goon against 4 here.
4.
Is there one of these goons that really low? No. 3 more goons coming across for Gandhi. Cleaning up the goon in his main. I think Gandhi barely does this.
Yeah,
I
I think Gandhi's got it there.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a support pay, but there's no Reavers being built. Trash game.
whoa, some BM coming out.
Some BM talk, yeah. First the BM no GG last game, and now the BM here.
Not the sportsmanship we want to see in the semi-finals, but a big props to Jelly for still GGing at the end of game 3.
Yeah. He wins in the that department for
Yeah,
sure.
in some ways Jelly was the real winner of that match.
The real winner were the viewers for a bunch of great Protoss games.
Dude, that second PvP between them was great. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, we had a lot of great games today.
Yeah, it was really good. Let's break it down. So we saw Specialist take it 2-0 over Stunnel. Armada vs Flow. I can't remember. Armada won that.
2-1
right?
for Armada.
Yeah, 2-1 for Armada. Neon Sword 2-1 against Jedi. And Gandhi 2-1. So Flying SCVs went 2-2 against Cheese Police in our matches today.
Well, always nice to see close matchup like that.
Yeah. Snope, I enjoyed casting with you, man. It was good. Thanks for stopping by.
No, thanks for inviting me, having me. It's been good. Like I said, I haven't casted CPL in a long time.
Maybe we can do it again sometime in the future.
Yeah, sounds good. Not that there's a lot of games left to cast, but
Yeah.
semifinals and finals. But maybe we can find something in the finals to do or something.
Not too many left. If you enjoyed the cast, you want to see more, or if you want to see me stream some Protoss Ladder, please consider following my channel. And I'm looking for someone to raid, and I think I know the exact person, Snipe, which is someone that raids CPL streams quite a bit. It's Terra.
Okay.
So let's close it off there. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the cast. See you next time, and give some love to Terra.